What a thrill, with darkness and silence through the night. What a thrill, I'm searching and I'll melt into you. What a fear in my heart, but you're so supreme. I give my life, not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else who rhyme. It's the way I've lied to you. I'm still in a dream, snake eater. Some days you go through the rain. Some days you feed on a tree frog. It's ordeal, the trial to survive. But the day we see new light, I give my life, not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else who rhyme. It's the way I've lied to you. I'm still in a dream, snake eater. I'm still in a dream, snake eater.
宙へゴン最先端の夢中をゴンこの手に掴むよすっとん表に笑ってたいちんぷんかんは慣れっこだい I can't get no satisfaction 退屈は西になる重くて落ちちゃう前にワクワクの羽広げ次の世界へ行こう可能性のドアはロックされたままやれやれ今度も壁をぶち破る今だ限界突破叫べヘロヘロカッパ無敵のオイラがそこで待っているドラゴンボールスーパーゼロ様もおったまげ想像すっぞ愉快な今日天丼天気機嫌は上夢見りゃ叶うよ大混戦だかかってこいバッタンキューとひねってぽい I can get more satisfaction 信じれば手の中に渦巻くカメハメの波悲しみを砕くとき君も戦士だろう意外性を秘めたやつが生き残るマジかよ100倍やばいサバイバル行くぞ限界突破パワー全開やっぱ秒速知るかのバトルが見せ場さドラゴンボールスーパー破壊神だけへちゃむくれ可能性のドアはロックされたままやれやれ今度も壁をぶち破る今だ限界突破叫べヘロヘロカッパ無敵のオイラがそこで待っている半端じゃないスーパードラゴンボールスーパーゼロ様もおったまげ
Oh no, what's happening there? Ah, I see what I did. That's a problem. That is a problem. Why must everything be difficult? Put that on top, put that over there. Where is the end of it? Jesus Christ. Just Jesus Christ. This stream is doomed to fail, dude.
What happened?
Somehow I deleted the chat without knowing it. It's just like, it's gonna be one of them streams. Yep, right there. And then I just need to. We're doing this again. Kids barely sat down and we're already doing this.
Always deep in time.
It needs to be removed with the quickness.
Oh, absolutely.
Can't give them nothing. Must abuse everything. Oh, we got you.
Maybe it could never be seen. I don't know. I feel like it used to be able to. Well, I just won't save this and we'll fix it in the future. Jesus Christ. Thank you for the super chat, Nami the GOAT.
Are we on?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Salad Saturday is looking good. There's no Salad Saturday, sir.
Especially considering it's Saturday and we're not doing salad. I don't know.
How much more?
There's a couple of things that you're missing there. The fact that it's Saturday is the only true thing.
Oh my god, dude. This is trash. This is a trash OD. Alright, put that up.
Alfonso Rodriguez says, Mark 23 month.
What? I just sort of auto-completed that in my mind. It's like, Mark, I'm like, oh, whatever. Wait, what? No.
R. Ares1 says, happy to be here. It's Mark time.
Unfortunately.
Alright, so that's just what I'm gonna do. That's fine.
You're falling apart.
That's fine.
You're falling apart.
That's fine.
Stop it.
Can we get triggered Tuesday then? No. Thank you for the super chat. No. I'm gonna wait for the demon time.
Always demon time.
We actually do have some triggered videos coming. So look forward to that, I guess. And now the chat's not doing anything. I'm gonna refresh it. And there we go. There we go. Well, there we go. Fine. There. Well, I'll take it. Yo, bums, sup? I hope Mark joins the stream. For Mark, Mark month is getting closer and closer.
It's getting further and further, if anything.
Yo, I'm washing dishes now.
Fairly normal.
Mark T23 month. Can't believe y'all about to do this to Mark after he was so cordial in the comments.
That don't stop nothing.
The suffering
still
continues.
needs to get
I'm
sick.
here. Let's go. Hi. Theme. You can make a playlist of all your videos with Oceanus. We haven't. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah,
When
I
can
need
I sign
to
up for the future channel
restructure
war? And is it time to
the
awaken Leo?
playlists. I'm gonna do like all Naruto videos, certain creators.
That's what I was doing.
Oh, where?
Yeah. Check the playlist now because I had already started doing some of that.
Because I'm just gonna restructure it completely because we have way too many and it's cumbersome.
Yeah. The only thing.
No, keep going. We can do this later. I can look at it on my own time.
Okay.
It's fine.
How appropriate. Mark month. BG is losing it. Mark month part 2. Oh damn, we're
Mark
pretty
month, bro?
early. Well, always expect the unexpected. Wasn't triggered banned. You should learn now that bans mean nothing to us. I thought triggered was banned. You lied to me. Where can I sign up for this future channel war? Is it time to awaken Leo? Early stream. I'm at Evo chilling in my hotel bed. Oh, I wanted to go to Evo so bad, even just to watch it, but I decided not to.
One day it would definitely be fun.
Oh, I'm going one day. Period. I'm going next year. I'm decided I'm going next year. Next year I wanted to either go to Vegas for.
All right, that's the end of the stream. That's the zombie alert or something.
Ares1 says, have you reconciled the tips I gave you?
What tips did you give us? I love boxing. And Vegas is home of boxing. So I was like, I want to go to Vegas for a big boxing match next.
I don't know if y'all can hear that, but
Yeah, I even have the background noise unmuted. So they can hear those sirens. What is that alarm? Corey, I have no clue. I've decided not to do both and just do Evo.
What is that? What could it possibly be?
Nami the goat says, I hope I see y'all at a Detroit convention so I can call y'all a bum and leave.
Yomicon, we
Yeah,
tend to go.
Yomicon. I went last year. I go all every year.
MF Curry 04 says, Mark month siren.
Sound the alarm! It's Mark outside like, I got you.
Oh, Nami said it's happening here too.
Weird.
Buster says, Hey DA, what's the opposite of the sentence, you hate them all?
No. Yeah, well, I'm not stupid. I'm a lot of things, but slipping of tongues happen, but you're not clipping me.
Oh, but Corey doesn't hear it on the east, so it might just be the west. Okay, Detroit is testing the sirens.
Okay, because I was about to say there was a couple of like streamers, VTubers type stuff where people would go around and like go to certain prefixtures and play like a siren or something, and then hear it on the stream. Like, okay, so they're close because I hear my siren, and like
That's disgusting, isn't it? What are they doing? Y'all are in too deep. What's up, Dutch, Devin, Alex, Nami, Lawrence, Blaze, Alfonso, Jinx, Hi, Hungers,
what alarm is it?
Hope.
It's not
Buster
like it's
says,
a
T23
stop
month
sign.
win?
There is no T23.
Okay, y'all get a little
Love
too
One
uppity
Piece.
with that, so let's just go ahead and give them a warning and time out Hope real quick. Y'all need to remember,
Aries.
we are tyrants.
Curry. Yeah, we've been a little too nice recently.
Yeah.
Y'all done forgot what time it was.
Says, Iconic drinking game when?
We would die. Plus, this kid doesn't drink. Adrian, Nightfall, Victory, Varia, Jerobo. I think I'm not doing Corey. Screw him.
Buster says,
By not doing
You
Corey,
can time
you
my
did
chats,
Corey.
but you can't time my spirit.
Buster.
Is it
So-
worth it? Is it worth it? I'm wondering.
They can't even see it because the big old picture covers it up. And they're still just like, I want it. Thank you for the super chat, Nami the GOAT. And season 10 of RWBY might be greenlit.
Ugh.
It was always going to be greenlit.
Not necessarily.
Come on. One smart.
I can only
That's the
hope
last
for
thing.
trash or good. I don't want a 4, 5, or a 6.
The reason the big old theme is up there is because our brother Eric drew this for us, and we have never
Dutch
shown it on
says,
stream, so we decided
DA, I
to.
read the latest Iruma chapter I was planning on letting build up, but the last page gave me such cliffhanger so I can't anymore.
Yep, that is
Creative
what it
username
is.
says,
You always got to back out.
Hope, did you hear that new Eminem verse?
Is it the one that's just like, I'm great, pee pee poo poo, basically? If it's that one, oh boy, it is not hitting. If it's the one that's slamming all the people just
Chris
like,
the Chill
Eminem
says,
ain't good.
I'm not ready for the crazy reaction of the internet of G5 Luffy.
Yeah, it's gonna
MF
be.
Curry 04 says,
It's gonna be fervent.
The sirens are the sound of Mark encrouching the shinning style going.
Absolutely.
Ares 1 says, Self-instinct Goku's backstory is destined to happen. Stop avoiding it.
Joe,
I'm not gonna address any sort of T23 things.
we probably okay. So are we gonna do his Frieza Saga video? At some point, we're gonna do all of them.
Yes.
But don't expect it anytime like this year.
That might be a little too harsh. Well, it is there's only a couple months left.
Yeah, we got like
That makes
4 or
sense.
5
That
months.
makes
Yeah,
sense.
no. Don't expect it this year.
Never Ruby month. Nobody said T23.
Yeah. Alright, let's get him out of here. And let's bring up the mark. Yeah, so we're just back to it. Hey guys, I haven't been to these in a while. Joey, you don't need to come to these anymore.
Yeah, it's fine. You're good. Don't.
Hope you've been good though.
Everybody leave.
What about because Reasons of Ruby Dan? We've had several of them. The new one is up to them. And by them, I mean DA, Mike, Ralph, and Drew versus. Your boy had nothing to do with it.
Frightening as this move is, with an intensity of visual carnage to rival anything we've seen so far in the series, this scene's thematic highlight and clever contrast comes not...
Oh yeah, that's why we stopped the thematic highlight.
Yeah, that's why you stopped.
Yes.
And I stopped on the question of how do you punch off somebody's arm and why has that never happened again before? It's such a clean cut as well.
Yeah, like he had a knife or a hand.
through Tenshinhan, but instead through his longtime friend and partner, Chaozu.
The almighty Jew Hansen says, I have more respect for Mark now, but this is not it, man.
And you can have respect for a person. You can even like a person and disagree with the things they say. Mark is a super nice dude who takes criticism on the chin. It's just like, you don't have to like it. That's cool. But that doesn't mean that
He still said these things.
The things are still said. So if there's things we disagree with, we're still going to call them out.
My quick breakdown earlier of the philosophy behind Yamcha's Cyberman Kamikaze.
Can I just say that I hate how this has been reframed so hard by a lot of content creators. Just like the emotional weight of Chaozu lost to Tien and all this. Like we can we can understand that. But for us, there's nothing there. We haven't connected with Tien or Chaozu, so why should we care?
It's just feeling bad for a character who's feeling bad.
Like Tanjiro and his family.
You know, who's the Chaozu fan going, oh no, Chaozu is super dead now? I'm sure they're out there.
Yeah.
Or they were out there at the time. But they're so few and far between.
I'm going to have to change the redeems at some point. I feel like what or confused can go at this point.
Was partially to illustrate what the Saiyans believe in order to establish a clear contrast between them and the forces of Earth. However, there was a secondary purpose, and it was for this scene right here. I mentioned that one of the aspects that
Did he cut off really?
Yeah, that's fine.
took Yamcha off guard was his inability to conceive of this particular strategy from this invading evil force. In other words, Yamcha was too good, too loving of a person with too much to live for, where he would so frivolously cast aside his life like that. A cursory glance at Chaozu's attack on Nappa might appear to share many of the same patterns, but truthfully, it is again a terrific highlight of this difference that exists between the Saiyans and the Earthlings. Where the Cybermen attacked out of instinct and fear of consequence, attacking with a singular goal, Chaozu's attack is one of desperation to save.
Lend me your energy.
In August, we're getting part 2 of Mark Month, and after a month extension and a week of writer's block, I'm gonna get back into chapter 2. This month is gonna be lit. Can't wait for it to get to the Lily field, though. Yeah, Lily's this month too.
Ares1 says, Bastard.
Thank you for the super chat, soul. I hate that this month is Mark, Triggered, and Lily.
Who said triggered? Who said we're doing triggered this month?
Why wouldn't we do Triggered this month?
Why would we?
Because either next month or the month after is going to be viewer request month 2, so we're not doing them till November, December.
How do you know? What are you talking about next month or the month after? We make the rules. We haven't started voting yet. It can't be next month.
Or nomination. Yes, it can. 2 weeks of voting is easy.
2 weeks of nominations
A
and
week
voting.
of nominations, 2 weeks of voting.
Yeah, that's not enough time.
That's what we've done before.
That's not enough time. It was way more.
Everyone. Like Yamcha, his is a sacrifice born out of a desire to prevent more pain coming to his friends by giving up everything. And Nappa, just like Yamcha...
But isn't that basically every person that goes into the battlefield on the good guy side, that they're willing to sacrifice their life to prevent the further dissemination of their friends or whatever? I don't understand why this is a positive for Dragon Ball specifically, even if you find it to be a positive of a story overall. It's not something worth.
Sacrifices happen. It's not. I don't think it's more so of a dichotomy between the humans and the Saiyans. It's just basically good guy versus bad guy. Yes, it is demon time. It's always demon time. Nami, you piece of shit.
Always demon time.
Trigger Month, you cowards, and Lily's My Little Pony fanfic. Thank you for the super chat, Nami.
Trigger Month is impossible because there's not enough things that he does that we would care about.
Yep.
And the MLP fan fiction is impossible because we would get yeeted off of YouTube.
Yep.
Page 1.
Maybe we'll do like a member stream
No, we
rereading
won't.
of it. That would be awesome.
You can do that.
Us and Mike and Ralph and
can
all
do
of
that.
us as characters doing a
You
member
can do
stream.
that.
Would be awesome.
Yamcha, for the opposite reasons, never saw this attack coming. In other words, where Yamcha was too good of a person, Nappa was so bought into this idea of might makes right and power is all that matters that he couldn't foresee anyone, let alone himself, doing something like Chaozu did for his friends that day. It's another spectacular narrative choice that carries with it so much meaning and thematic significance. Both Yamcha and Chaozu offered up their lives
I just
and
don't care.
Alfonso
This is
Rodriguez
sacrifice, and
says,
you're looking way too
Let the
far
read
into
Sith
sacrifice.
resurgence.
The Sith resurgence?
That's the, I think that's the two traumatized lesbians finding each other.
Hey, it was Soul's choice of videos, and we're picking one of the
Andy
ones
Hope says,
he linked.
DA is just worried he'll like the MLP story too much.
No, I will not. That is also not my genre.
Yes, we've already established this is theme mark, which is nowhere near as bad as music mark, or nowhere near as something we would want to do as music mark.
doing
If I
so-
knew Chaozu, then him failing would mean something. Yeah, he's just kind
He's just
of
a guy.
there.
As far as we know, as people that first watched Dragon Ball Z without the knowledge of Dragon Ball, he is just a guy that is part of their group. Yamcha offered up his life, he says, even though he was caught lacking, which is accurate.
not just save their friends momentarily, but through this leverage of their characters, Akira Toriyama was able to establish concretely what these Saiyans are. Heartless monsters with no value for anything or anyone beyond their own selfish interest.
Why?
He did that when they were just like, are we going to wish back Raditz? And he just went, no. Why would we? He's weak. That was already established.
that they don't care about camaraderie and stuff.
Yeah.
But why are the Saiyans like this?
Because they're just naturally like that. Because they're just born like that. You can just be born evil. And that's just what you're born as. It's just what it is. Goku would have been evil if he didn't hit his head. So it's just within you because those are just your genes. You're just an evil race, and that's just what it is.
How did the Saiyans that fight all the time not have their head hit enough to where they woke up and go, wait a tick, we're monsters?
It could have just been the baby. He's a baby, so his head was a lot squishier and it recalibrated whatever, something or other. Who cares? I'm going you as a baby.
Okay. I watched OG first. I liked Chaozu, but even in OG, he wasn't that crazy of a character. I felt more for Tien than him.
I don't remember a single meaningful interaction between Chaozu and Goku. Outside of the fight between Chaozu and Krillin, I don't remember any sort of interactions with him. We should just care because Tien cares.
The Cybermen wanted a hug. Mark, we call them villains. The gore in OG Dragon Ball, I think, looks better and more brutal than the modern style because of how much more expressive the characters were. So Yamcha couldn't foresee the Cybermen being so evil they blow themselves up, and Nappa couldn't foresee Chaozu being so nice that he'd blow himself up.
Yeah.
So I guess it's just, we can't foresee people blowing themselves up.
It's just all about the reason given behind why they would blow themselves up, I guess, or whatever.
And in the case of the Earthlings, while not enough to stop Vegeta or Nappa, they are certainly much more than either of the two cruel Saiyans ever imagined they possibly could be. Piccolo isn't yet fully bought into this idea of self-sacrifice, however, and part of him still wants to believe that he's bad to the bone. And I think because of that, despite being shocked just as bad as everyone else as he watches what unfolds with these fallen warriors, he's also the only one able to retain a semblance of timing and strategy, and thankfully, he too can bring those like Krillin and Gohan into his plan of action. A plan that actually...
Is that more or less because he doesn't care about these people? There's no reason given why he would care about a Yamcha or a Chaozu. Something like a Gohan, you could say that, like, yes, there is something that he might care about. But he's had so few interactions with those two. He's just like, oh, this is just This is a pawn that's gone. This is less ability for us to kill them. This isn't more like, oh, he's strategy minded or whatever. He has no reason to care about these people outside of their abilities.
Outside of what they could bring to the battlefield. Just like he had no reason to care about Goku. Just like, yeah, I'll kill you. I do not care.
So it's just like, okay, this guy who was a 2,000 power level is gone, so I guess we can't use him. Whereas Krillin is just like, my friend is gone, and thus he's not thinking as clearly.
Now, the most you could say is that he had a look of despair because of the chasm of strength between the Saiyan he fought before and this current group of Saiyans, where it's just like, ooh, this isn't good.
It looks as though it's going to work. Right as Nappa is about to kill Tenshinhan, Piccolo gives the signal before disappearing suddenly and reappearing right before Nappa, landing his own brutish, animalistic slash of his claws onto the brutal and heinous Saiyan. Following this, the seasoned Earthling Krillin matches his effort with his own clubbing strike, setting up Gohan for the perfect final attack. The strategy was perfect. The strongest of the Earth's fighters.
Mark has gotten way better at script writing because that was super descriptive.
Sure. But it's also very flowery, like an animalistic slash.
I feel like you gotta be a little flowery when you're just describing what happens on the page.
But it's more flowery than it needs to be.
Yes, absolutely.
Sets up the attack with what is the most dangerous part, confronting Nappa directly. Following this, Krillin, someone who can be relied on in a pinch, one who earned Piccolo's respect in arcs prior during the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai, nails his role here also. And now, hurtling towards Gohan, the second strongest fighter from Earth, he freezes because of
Master
course
Jinx
this-
says, I watched the beginning of Z as a kid and didn't care about the characters, it was cool. After watching Dragon Ball then Z in order later I cared more. Keiatsu never spoke to Goku ever in manga.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, no. Also, Robot Lady butchered that. Chaos. But yeah, if they were fast enough to get behind Nappa before he realized, why weren't they fast enough to teleport back down and blast them? Or just blast them right here and now?
It might be that he was just so single-minded, not thinking about his peripheral stuff going on. Just like what happened with Chaozu. Chaozu was able to get behind him and just latch on to him.
They were in front of him, and in the next second, they were behind him. So if they're fast enough to travel within that second, instead of yelling, Gohan, do it, you go, okay, I'm taking over. Or just blast them from behind now.
Oh, you're talking about why not now. No clue.
happened. Unlike Piccolo, unlike Krillin, and unlike even Goku, this isn't Gohan's natural state. Standing on the battlefield with monsters, forced to bear witness to graphic deaths and attacks time and again, almost coming close to dying himself. This was always going to be the outcome. Because, as I've mentioned time and again in this video, Gohan isn't special or interesting because of his abilities, but instead his lack of them and his determination to keep trying despite this natural aversion he has to fighting and danger. In the blink of an eye, this small and scared 5-year-old child has watched 3 allies all die in horrific and tragic fashion.
Why did that kill Tien?
Because it said that it killed Tien.
Then why didn't do in like 4 of them, which was the actual I'm giving my life BAME, not kill Tien?
Because that one kills Tien. Because they say that that one kills Tien. Can you say that it doesn't kill Tien?
I can't say that it doesn't because it
Okay,
actually
then.
did kill Tien.
So that's why it killed Tien. Because it killed Tien. Any other questions?
It's worth noting that earlier I mentioned Piccolo was the strongest of the Earth's forces and that Gohan was second. However, I said that only really because it was what Nappa and Vegeta assumed based on their initial readings at the time and who they discovered once they arrived to investigate. But as it happens, Gohan, according to Piccolo, has greater power dwelling within him than even he possesses. This juxtaposition between Gohan's latent ability and his desire to avoid conflict at all costs is a match made in heaven, narratively speaking. Placing a tremendous amount of hope and responsibility on his capable but small and unsure shoulders is the perfect recipe for manufacturing tension and exciting moments.
Sure.
However,
I understand that. But what does it come to? What fruition does it come to? he does a big blast against Nappa that does nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And what other times does his rage sparking up in this arc do something? Same thing with Raccoon. He does a big oh no and it does nothing. Same thing with Frieza. He does a big rah and does nothing.
It's there's not even a culmination of the I'm scared of the battlefield, I don't really want to fight, because it's kind of shoehorned into what happens with Cell. Because before then, he's just like, I want to train with my dad and Piccolo for the androids. I want to save this kid, even if it means I gotta fight people. He never showed a lack of want for a fight, except right here and speaking to Cell. So it's not even like we got to see the build of that and then the ultimate culmination of he's letting go of his lack of desire to fight to finally unleash his power.
Ares 1 says, please define raw BG.
You're asking the wrong questions. I don't understand.
So
Did you not hear the episode?
Why do so many of these last moves have no effect? They're just not strong enough. It's a big moment of, hey, they did it. Smoke clears. No, they didn't.
Yeah. And a lot of Dragon Ball could be said like that. Mark Month, you do not need to be here. There is no Mark Month.
Please change your name.
Please.
Before we get to that, the Saiyans, and by Saiyans I mean Vegeta, recognizes that Gohan, Piccolo,
Corey, who are you?
and Krillin's talk of Goku must mean Kakarot is soon to arrive. And giddy to torture his son before his very eyes, they jump at the chance to give the Saiyan traitor Kakarot the time he needs to reach the battlefield. But 3 hours pass, and he still doesn't show up. From this point on, every single moment is spent showcasing another one of the arc's themes, that being...
Why didn't they take that time to go get a sensu bean? Surely.
Do you think the Saiyans would allow it?
Why would they not?
I don't know.
They're just gonna be waiting for 3 hours.
That's fair.
Hey, you're gonna destroy the Earth, so if I run, you're just gonna find me. So I'm just gonna go get something, and I'll be right back.
This is a big problem with a lot of the analyst YouTubers, not just in the YouTube space when it comes to themes. As we've said multiple times, themes are whatever you make of them.
Gamble 130.
It's a bad picture, by the way. What is this? This is
fair.
werewolf Krillin.
Buster
But yeah.
says, idiot.
But yeah, themes are just... They're just themes. Theme mark is just theme mark.
Themes
Mark
are
Monk
just
says,
things brought together.
I was retired until I got the call. I'm basically MJ on the Wizards or Vince Carter on the Hawks. I got a few more in me.
There are no more in you. Jesus Christ, why is the bet jackpot that huge? I gotta do something about this economy.
Point on, every single moment is spent showcasing another one of the arc's themes, that being the Earthlings' unwillingness to give up. From Piccolo's failed plan against...
That's
R.
one of the
Ares
themes
1
of
says,
the arc?
U.can. Breath fire.
I guess. But... Again... Is it? Because it could be anything.
Yeah,
He hungers for
It could be
says,
teamwork
how
is the
come the
thing.
Saiyans didn't have a system where the high-class Saiyans beat the shit out of the lower-class Saiyans until their Zenkai made them as strong as everyone else? They could stab babies.
Because then, oh man, we can't have a low class be stronger than us. What if his Zenkai just brings him right above us? No, we can't have that. So you're just going to be lower than me by a magnitude of 2 or 3 times, and you're just going to do that. I truly do not understand Raditz. If he was going on missions with them,
the same missions.
I
them.
truly do not.
What
understand.
sets Nappa and Raditz apart? Because it's not even like Nappa's royalty or something. Why is Nappa that
Sophie
much
Diva
stronger?
says,
What is better
I take the
blood
blame
in
for that
terms of
because I lost
Saiyans?
2 gambles worth 36000.
Oh yeah, that'd do it.
Nappa to Gohan miraculously withstanding Nappa's full-on attack, to Krillin still managing to get an attack off against Nappa. The remaining 3 fighters continue endlessly in their endeavor to fight back, despite how...
Okay, but couldn't
was
this also
Frieza.
be said about the Frieza arc,
Or
about
Boo.
the Cell arc, about basically any arc? Was
The
Cell's
humans
about-
desperately fight back against an overwhelming odd that's kind of killing them.
When have they ever given up? When have they against Piccolo, they're just like King Piccolo's like, all right, you rule us, it's over. It's always been we're gonna fight. That's a show. There's no show if they give up.
There was probably a child's right protest where parents beat for parents to bring the brakes off their kids so they can Zenkai their way to greatness. And that's the weirdest thing, because even if you're a weak Saiyan, there is an inlay ability to naturally get stronger just by almost dying and then coming back.
Eating, sleeping, fighting, almost dying, all things just gets you stronger. And they were just crapping their britches over Bardock being like 10K when he's a fully grown man having presumably done this all of his life. So what's the escalation of power if you're doing all those things? Is it just like eating is one power level, but
Eating gives you like 0.05 times your power. So
there's no reason why, if they can do all that, they're that weak.
this is something that happened in the latest season of Superman and Lois. So if anybody's watching it or plans to watch it, please stop listening for about 40 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bizarro comes to the place, and there comes a point where, for some reason, he's just not dying. He's just getting stronger and readapting every time he dies. So Lex Luthor puts him in a lab and just keeps killing him over and over to make him resistant to fire, whatever, to the point where he eventually becomes Doomsday. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't the Saiyans have a room where it's just like, this is murder and rehabilitation room?
Yeah,
these are the weakest we have.
We got these in healing tanks.
So why not? We're
Blast
gonna
a hole through them.
heal, blast a hole, hop in a tank. Because from what we know, the pod juice is not finite.
It's not finite resource. But that's also the argument for the fairy tale people. Why don't they just all just circle up and just go, okay, Wendy, here's fire, and you give me wind, and you give me lightning, and then it's just a big old monster. There's no reason given to why they don't do that. Outside of, I gotta assume that it's just, and this is movie stuff of the first Broly of King Vegeta just going, wham, he's stronger than my kid. So
Can't be having that.
You can't be having that. So I'm the strongest at 15,000,
Look at
and
all the
nobody
content
can be
here
that
trying for the
strong.
jackpot. The house always wins. Isn't that right, BG?
The house wins what? I get nothing.
Obviously beaten they are. It's a level of determination against adversity that not only befuddles Nappa to the point of rage, but is, in the end, a driving force that is pivotal to the eventual victory of Earth as a whole.
But
That
would Saiyans give up if they're outmatched?
Vegeta didn't. He tried everything he could against Frieza. Until it was just like, oh, this is 1,000,000,000% hopeless. And even then, when he came back to life, he was like, alright, Kakarot, it's time to team up against this bastard.
I think that was filler, though.
It could be.
But he saw Super Perfect Cell kill Trunks, and he ran into there.
Not to being able to eat other elements was one of the worst things Hero did, and for him that says a lot.
Ares 1 says, doing nothing instead of giving us money is a scam.
I just gave y'all money with a moon drop!
All Dragon Slayers being able to eat other elements was bad, because they just didn't do it. Until they did it. And then they were just like, wow, we got so much stronger. And
Why
I'm
weren't
never
we
gonna do
doing
this?
this?
In fire, lightning, wind, shadow dragon. No. Just fire, lightning.
drive to carry on despite adversity is an attitude that both Nappa and Vegeta are completely alien to. They were born into a higher class. And from what I...
Was Nappa?
I don't think he was. I don't think that we've got evidence that he was. I don't remember evidence that he was, I'll say. That is the thing that I will say.
That is as far as you will go with your...
The wiki says that he's a mid-class Saiyan warrior from Planet Vegeta, but it doesn't give any evidence about...
Blaze Rider says, can you take the scan bucks out of the jackpot and distribute them across everyone who's watching the stream currently?
No.
Mike says, if I was a Saiyan, I'd open Child Violence LLC, where you give me your children for an allotted time and I'd beat them until they grow stronger. Plans range from lower class to elite Saiyans.
Absolutely, do it.
But what is the ranking system? How do you... Are you just
Joe,
born...
you were correct, by the way, about middle class. Go ahead.
Are
sorry.
you just born into middle class? And what does it mean to have middle class blood? Do you just come from...
Or
is
are
it
the
a
classes...
strength
I was
thing
just about to say that.
based upon your parentage? Your parent is a 7,000, which puts you in the upper mid tier. So if you're born and like
Blaze, I legit could do that. I said no because I won't do that.
is it you have to be at least 4,000 by the time that you're 20? Otherwise, can you go up or down a level? What does the class system in Saiyan hierarchy mean?
Or is it that you're born into that class? Like when they read your power level, it's like, okay, you are a low class, you are a middle class, you are a high class.
But again, can you move up or down?
You talking about later in life? Like if Bardock suddenly got the power of Vegeta, is he now a high class Saiyan? Maybe it's I can't remember the movie or TV show, but just like whatever you're born into, that's just the role you are for life. That also happened in Futurama, but yeah, that's just the role you are in life. You are always going to be low class. You're always going to be middle.
Buster says, the economy is good right now. BG stocks are up. Hashtag to the top.
But again, what happens if, let's say Zarbon just goes nuts and just rocks up on the planet and just starts killing people, and then a low class Saiyan beats him? Is he heralded as a hero, but he's still a low class?
I would assume so. If it's in the definition of what I just said, and not, just something entirely different that we could never
Goku,
explore.
Dragon Instinct
The strongest
Goku,
faction of
Spirit
Saiyans has to be the
Saiyan
elderly
Goku,
home, and they are
Primal
all on
Instinct
death's door.
Goku.
Thank you for the super
Stop
chat.
right
Soul.
at the end of that. I also have the rank Wikipedia once you read.
Okay.
Souls.
Y'all are aware that y'all thought about this more than Toriyama, right?
I know.
Maybe not.
I know, but the Saiyan Army employs various ranks based upon power levels. The only ranks mentioned in the series are elite and low class, with the series creator Akira Toriyama confirming in an interview that there are also mid-class warriors. Almost all Saiyans are low-class warriors, with Bardock being the top of low class. There are about 10 mid-class warriors, with Nappa's being the highest-ranking general of the army, and Raditz of equal rank to him? That doesn't make any sense because he's like 3 times as weak as him. Among the elite warriors, there are only 2, King and Prince Vegeta.
He's like 6 times this week.
Yeah, about that. This rank is determined by an innate latent battle power. So they can tell your...
They can't.
Does it not?
That's impossible because
Goku.
Goku.
Gezenkai's and
No,
Goku is the obvious. But naturally, if their battle power rises greatly afterwards, they can be promoted. Okay, then.
There we go.
And this comes from an interview by Toriyama.
As we should always let him cook.
Hey, there is no reason why Raditz is a mid-class.
None.
Equal to Nappa.
Equal in rank to Nappa.
So were the other Saiyans like 600s?
Maybe
Harry
it's like
Plum
a...
says, didn't Toriyama forgot the SSJ2 was thing?
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe it's like
He's old.
a power range. So if you're between 1,200 and let's just say anything 1,000 to 10,000 is mid. Anything below 1,000 is low, and anything above 10,000
Then why are
is high.
Saiyans heralded as such a high
Because-
in battle, people?
Because Goku started with a 14 power level, and Maz was like, "Who is this monster?"
But you got people like Kui. literally his
Monster
race. But
Stop
but
interviewing that man.
we aren't allowed to see the race of people like Kui because
And what
they would,
their power is.
They would be stomping the entirety of the Saiyans. The rank and
Anko
file
says,
Frieza soldiers were like
When Sentai boosts
1,000.
reach the point of diminishing returns.
Maybe
At some
it's
point
that-
the boosts have to be less effective.
Maybe it's that.
Maria Neri says, if Rady can be a general, so can the Saberman. Lol.
Legitimately,
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
mid class. What? Okay,
Whatever.
maybe we can just say that they're. I think they mentioned something like, "Oh, the Earth is really good here, so it's going to make some good warriors." So maybe the Cybermen are weaker on weaker planets. Maybe that's all I can say about that.
Oh yeah. Whatever. This is some good soil.
I remember him saying that.
So maybe whatever the soil is, that makes more sense. Maybe it's whatever the average of the power level of that planet is. That's around where the Cybermen will be. There's billions of people on the planet, and they're all like 4 or 5 power levels.
Sure, but then we have the 1,000 people, and that would bring them the average way down. It would be so much lower than 1,000 at that point.
Oh yeah. I don't know.
It makes no sense when you think of it. Raditz and Nappa should not be on the same tier.
No.
Shut up.
Toriyama. Can you change the win percentage to 1 so that we can only win the jackpot? No, that is actually impossible. Can't be because Bardock was considered low class. I remember Nappa power level being at 5,000. How come no one...
Ares 1 says, Goku Black abused Zenkai boosts. I am not sure about diminishing returns.
Yeah, I don't think,
wouldn't-
unless it's just like he is a new being. He has new essence and aura, so the Zenkai restarts or whatever.
So what would happen if...
But then when you're reborn, surely that would...
What would happen if two Saiyans fuse, got a bunch of Zenkai boosts, and then unfuse? Would they be stronger individually? And would they retain their original Zenkais?
I would have to say yes.
How come none of the Saiyans tried training like Goku? They couldn't build a 100-time gravity chamber?
It makes no sense when you think about the Saiyan home world and hierarchy and the strength stuff. Like I said, we're not allowed to see the Kui race. We're not allowed to see the Ginyu races because they'd be stomping the Saiyans. Unless it's just like, okay, this is just the one guy out of the Raccoon race that is the monster. But that's just so illogical.
I think it was something you're born into. Vegeta was born into it, going off Broly movie. Yeah, it's Wow, there were a lot of comments while we were ranting. This is the last one I'm going to read. I'm reminded how at Team 4-Star Bento, they said they had a rule for not caring more than the creator when they made Dragon Ball Z Abridged. That was easy with Toriyama.
But if you care more than Toriyama. If you think about it a little bit, you care more than Toriyama. And that's just, you simply can't go, we can't think about this more than Toriyama. Because just the fact that you're aware that you have to think about it means that you're thinking about it more than Toriyama. The second that you go, hey, wait a second, no, you're done. It's over.
You should
You've
stop
thought about it
making
already
this.
too much.
Being indicated to us thus far have likely largely bulldozed over pretty much every foe they've ever faced up until now. In other words, there is no obstacle for them to overcome normally. They are the obstacle.
Creative
but that-
username says, you gotta rework this economy. I remember when I had 100k and I had a little less than ALX, now it's barely top 10.
Yeah, I'm going to have to rework the economy. I'm going to have to reset points at some point and reestablish a way of the economy.
Ain't got nothing to do
He
with me.
Hungers for Host says, injure babies, beat up low-class Saiyans, get a giant surplus of healing goo and pods. Pretty soon, no more Frieza.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Frieza was afraid of.
No, he was afraid of Super Saiyans.
But you could build a Super Saiyan potentially.
How?
Hey,
We had this argument.
it was
How
a
do you make
legend.
Super
It was a
Saiyan?
legend. So Vegeta legitimately thought it was just a super strong Saiyan.
So what does he have to worry about? If he's got a scouter, you can just beep boop boop because they can't hide their power levels. They just beep boop boop and just go, hey, wait a second, that muff over there is 50,000. Zarbon transform and take care of that
Buster
dude.
says,
No.
Tony is great right now, shut up.
You got to go, homie. You can't be
Daniel
getting that
Greenwich
strong.
says, DA versus Uncle Ruckus. The almighty Jew Hansen
There's
says,
no argument there.
I am poor, give me points.
Everybody's poor.
Now, in other words, there is no obstacle for them to overcome normally. They are the obstacle.
But there is an obstacle to overcome because Vegeta knows for a fact that he was as strong as Kui.
Ares 1 says, the economy is perfect.
Is all trash. No, he was weaker than Kui because Kui was like, "You've
Buster
never
says,
beaten me."
I'm rich, suck at nerds.
And he knows that Frieza is stronger than him, so he knows that that's an obstacle. He knows about the Ginyu Force. He definitively knows about them. He knows about Zarbon. He knows about the Doria, all stronger than him.
In perspective is what makes all the difference here, and just plays even more into the themes of the upcoming fight against Vegeta, the themes of class, of the resolute strength that the Earthlings...
All these themes in this... It's just things that's happening. It don't always have to be a thing.
Again, themes are what you make it. Just connecting 2 or 3 things, you could just go, "Oh, this is the theme of the art." And even just pointing out the theme and how things tie into that theme does not necessarily make the things good or bad. It's just actively tying into the theme of the story.
So you're just going, "Oh, okay, now it's a theme of the humans never getting up, and the later themes of the class system, and the themes, and it's just like themes upon themes upon themes."
Has anybody ever said, "This is the theme of the story. These are how these things tie into the theme of the story, and it's all bad"?
That's the argument for The Last Jedi. Failure is the greatest teacher, and then people just go, "Wait, how did Finn fail?" And it's like, well, he didn't.
No, but everything's not going to tie into the theme.
Ares 1 says,
But-
I sure love the subversive iconic themes. Alfonso Rodriguez says, theme drinking game.
No.
Nami the Goat says, what are the 3 P's go?
Piss, poop, feel.
But that was also the argument for Poe as well, because like he didn't really fail. He was in the right, going, "Hey, tell us the plan," and they just go down the characters
But
like,
she failed to be a leader.
"No, she didn't."
Yes, hit play.
Well, wait.
That status has instilled in them, ensuring they will continue training and fighting back until their final breath. Piccolo said it best. The Earth doesn't go down easily. And he's saying that from experience. And that's...
What about what happened with Boo, where he just went bloop?
Yeah, that was pretty easy.
Well, he can't tell the future, I suppose. But then again, King Piccolo rocked up on TV and was just like, "Line up to be eaten." And they went, "All right, we got you." It wasn't the Earth not
There's
going down
nothing
easily.
else.
It was a couple people just like, "Hey, no, I don't want to be consumed."
when it happens. Goku arrives at the check-in station to find
like that.
Kami as he's transported to the land of the living once again. And the
Pause.
moment...
What was that?
Was
Is that what fortune teller Baba could do?
Or was that?
Or is that something different? Or is that instant transmission?
And he's saying that from experience. And that's when it
What's
happens.
that? What
Goku
happened?
arrives at the check-in station to find Kami as he's transported to the land...
Yeah, Kami did it.
What? No, what was that?
You can see the strain of Kami, so it's something Kami did.
Yeah, no, I understand that it was Kami, but how?
He's the god,
Okay, so what is Baba doing?
bringing him back to life.
Could
Wake me up.
Kami not do that?
He didn't, so I would assume no.
But what did he just do here?
Teleport.
He could teleport between worlds. So, can Piccolo? Or is this a Kami thing specifically?
No, Kami's
can
god, not
Dende?
Piccolo. I would assume Dende can. Maybe he has to learn the technique to do so.
Is it a technique or is it a thing?
Hey, Goku could teleport between realms, so it's not out of the
No,
line.
that was with instant transmission. So
Yeah.
now we have to go, does Kami know instant transmission?
Or maybe some form of it that's exclusive to God.
Hey, why did he teach it? Why does it have to be exclusive to gods, first off?
Why wouldn't it be? You're telling me guys don't have exclusive powers?
Well, no. Because the dragon thing is just a Namekian thing.
Absolutely.
So what exclusive god thing does he have?
Key.
What? No.
Why wouldn't the god of Earth have God Key?
Legitimately, what is this?
Kaioshin can teleport. There you go.
But he's not a Kaioshin.
But it would stand to reason that the techniques get better as you go up. But that doesn't mean the lower people don't know some form of that
So
technique.
why didn't he teach them?
Well, why would he?
Because then Goku could do it instead of waiting for him to.
When could he?
He could have ran to Snake Way and then teleported back
No.
Wait.
No. When could Kami have taught them?
when he was training him. When Kami was training Goku.
Why would he be training with what?
When Kami was training Goku.
He barely trained Goku.
No, he trained Goku quite a lot.
Hell, he barely. That was mostly
Master Chief
Popo.
He taught him the
Some
basics
stories
of
are
Ultra
complex
Instinct, if you
ideas
want to believe
and
those
not
in
contained
Animus
in
videos.
Some stories are poorly told garbage. They both have themes, but how well they do them is what matters.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all about that's the entire argument about the theme thing, and we've beaten it to death at this point. It's not even a point in just talking about it again, but we will, and we continue to.
The living
So Earth Cybermans were equal to Raditz. Yep.
Ares 1
They
says,
legitimately said it.
Mark, these is my base form, these is my theme form, these is my iconic form, and these is when you subvert all the expectation of, these is music Mark.
No, Music Mark. Why is Music Mark Super Saiyan 3?
Have the yard drives ever been
Hi
explored? No.
Saldonics says,
Yeah, in the manga, I
hey, how
guess.
the hell
Super.
did Cammy become God?
He said he wanted the job and he was bestowed it.
Yeah, he was just like, hey, me. Who was God before him?
Some dead mother that ain't here no
Who
more.
was before him?
Yeah, because he split off from King Piccolo, so.
We're thinking about this more than
That's the thing that truly doesn't need to be explained.
I think that it would be helpful.
It'd be
if it's
helpful
just
for the
a-
world building, but nothing else.
Because, like you said, he's just a guy. Did he see a big tower and just went, I'm gonna climb that? And he's like, hey, welcome.
Cotton Candy Hope says,
You God?
and this is to theme even further beyond.
I mean, I would assume it's something like that because that's what happened with Dende. They came up, they were like, Dende, we want Dende as the god. And Dende came down and he's like, okay, I'm the god now.
No, that was when they already had an established preconception of what a god was.
Yes.
But Kami didn't. So he would have to go
But,
up.
okay, what is the preconception of what a god is?
What Kami does. He watches over Earth, and he can teleport between the worlds.
All right, then literally anybody can be the god of Earth.
Okay, but you would have to know that the god exists first off, and then go.
Or did Kami just create the term of God when he became the protector or the watcher of Earth?
And he also made the tower?
The tower always existed.
Where does
Korrin
Korrin
is
fit
right there.
into this? Where does Korrin fit into this? Who is Korrin? Whatever. Didn't he say he trained Roshi or something? He has some kind of relationship with Roshi. Hey, it's fine. We can't think about this more than Toriyama.
once again. And the moment Goku's body arrives in that realm, Vegeta's scouter surges into action, alerting him to something they never expected. It reads, a power level of 5,000 closing in on their location. Shocked, he orders Nappa to kill them all immediately. While this wasn't to be expected, I love that Vegeta has the wherewithal to assess the situation and strategize. With limited time before Kakarot's imminent arrival, he concludes that with Earthlings, appearances can be deceiving. And if Kakarot was raised here too, that means that he also could be hiding something more than what was initially read on the Scouters.
Why can they do this? What is the difference?
Karate.
Vegeta don't karate. But
Yeah, that's why he can't hide his power level.
But now he can.
Yeah.
After he was on Earth, and
Yep.
he can.
He
read
saw
power
their
levels,
karate.
too.
He saw their karate and was just like, I'm a karate too.
He karate none.
He experienced the karate and then he Zenkai'd into karate.
Can you experience karate and Zenkai into a karate?
If I was a Saiyan?
Odds are, if these Earthlings could help Kakarot, things could prove challenging for the Saiyans. I mean,
Vegeta is 18,000. He should
Chris
not
the
be
Chill
scared.
says,
You should've
Vegeta is
waited.
18,000. He should not be
I
scared.
didn't know he had points. Sometimes they don't have points, and then they just go, "Oh man, I don't have points." Yeah. His whole mindset is, oh, he could get stronger because these Earthlings can hide their power.
Yes.
So
Who knows how much he's hiding?
But based upon the other ones, I don't think anybody tripled their power level. Or maybe they did. I don't know what their power level was when they rocked up. I don't know. But, yeah. Yeah.
Awareness compared to Nappa here is chilling but exhilarating to watch.
Dream Spice says, I call iconic with Piccolo dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to get an iconic. We're on iconic watch, y'all.
It's remarkable how exciting this was to read through. It's just handled so
Maria
perfectly.
Neri says, one thing that always bothered me was how the character emphasized that they're simply mutants who were just born that strong. It feels like the only person training in the universe is Goku.
Yeah. You can just, hey, we got androids. Bam, they're stronger than you guys.
It's remarkable how exciting this was to read through. It's just handled so perfectly. Time and again, we're always given more of a reason to hold on, to hold out just one moment longer. And man, you might not register this upon your first read or watch, but this is the first attack Gohan has leveled against these invaders. It's his first attack and it's by far the most significant on Nappa thus far. And he knows it. This might be the most significant point in the story so far. Everyone is down. Goku isn't here, and Gohan is face to face with the strongest attack leveled against anyone thus far in the entire series. The only one who seems to have the strength to make it to his feet is Piccolo. And as the son of his lifelong enemy faces certain death, Piccolo drops the last remaining facade of evil and steps headfirst into a new era of his character as he gives up his life for another.
So, again, we talked about this before, but he had enough time to run into the way of the blast, hold out his arms, wait there for a second, and then get hit by the blast. But he could not simply kick Gohan out of the way. The blast was a blast, I guess, chest high, such that it did not affect Gohan through the legs, as he is very, very short. How did he wasn't
Master
knocked
Jinx
back
says,
at all.
Saiyans can't raise their power level, but both Nappa and Vegeta power up during their fights, so what the heck are
Hey,
they doing?
shut!
They're
Hey,
sitting in the ground is shouting if they can't power up.
Hey, shut up!
Creative user
That's
says,
not what
The
happened.
drinking game. Every time they say theme, you add an ingredient. Whenever they say iconic, you drink.
That would be good,
That'd be interesting.
but I don't drink.
I mean, it could be even just something like
That would be very fun. That's a
pineapple
good idea.
and a lemonade or something. Yeah, we might need to explore that one.
Piccolo could have been Key Blast, Gohan out of the way. He could have pushed
Mary
Gohan
Swan
away. I
says,
bet Kami.
You can't deny that Goku T23 became an icon of these Chanel.
Yeah, sure. I bet Kami beat Piccolo's ass when they reach the other world.
It just doesn't make any. I understand this for the moment. I understand sometimes when you're, it's a big moment. You don't think very rationally. Mm-hmm. But then just the whole beam doesn't travel through his legs, and if it's chest high, it wouldn't have hit Gohan anyway. So what was that attack? You got to think about it like that. It doesn't blow a hole through him, so it's not like a piercing beam. So it's had to be a spread out attack. And if it's spread out attack, it would have gone through his legs and blasted Gohan.
Yeah, it just looks like a big light wave.
And if it was so high, it wouldn't have hit Gohan. I like the breaking lines. This is good editing.
I wish they would have kept it. It's not everywhere, unfortunately.
I have to pause for copyright.
Oh, why do you think I pause right there? Piccolo's death is on par with Neji getting killed by a stick for
Oh no!
Imagine if Piccolo misjudged the beam strength and it disintegrated him and killed Gohan anyway.
He went right through him. Or he was pushed back with such force, he crushed Gohan and broke his neck. And again, he didn't.
I like the color, the white, black and white's a color.
Yeah.
I wish you wouldn't have mixed and matched the black and white and the glass stick to one, but I like them both.
But he didn't make a blast to divert the beam, even a mouth blast, which we know that he can do. Nothing. He just stood there and was just like, I hope that this works. It makes no sense. The moment is the moment. He's sacrificing himself. He's not evil. He's doing this for another person. The moment is the moment. But the logistics within the moment don't make sense.
Niji had it worse because he couldn't even get somebody named after him after his death. That man is lost to history.
No. Because
The question was, who had it worse, Piccolo or Neji?
because
Niji.
Neji, his name means screw, and Boruto is bought. So that's literally what it is.
That's what you're going with?
No, that's what it is.
No, that's what you're going with, writer.
No, that's what it is.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what you're going with, writer.
Yeah,
Boruto.
No, that's it. It's clever
It's not.
a bolt and a screw. The screw enables the bolt. So Boruto is only here because of the screw and the screwing that happened to make him.
says,
I guess.
Naruto praised his killer, so Neji got it worse.
He was the coolest guy. Look at that! What is happening here?
Overstated
Come
how
on!
this
Don't
moment
hit me with this. The moment is the moment. But think about it. Think about all the things that Piccolo could have done in the moment, in a hurry, in a rush, whatever.
I'm not worried about the things Piccolo could have done. Because that's just trying. I feel like that's just trying too hard to
Neo
force the
Arcadia
logic.
says, the iconic catalyst and genuine foreshadowing of the Frieza saga.
Yeah, okay.
Get
And you're
banned.
kind of disconnecting from the material.
But again,
It's the whatever that blast is.
it's not a
is the problem
piercing
for me.
blast. It is a widespread Kamehameha push you back concussive type blast.
That doesn't go through his legs.
For most of us in the English-speaking world, the
Could
anime
because something like look at I don't want to say like the Kamehameha that Cell took, but if you stood right behind Cell, do you think that you would be okay?
It looks like Gohan is a little taller than what is seen usually. Yeah, it looks like his back and it should still hit some part of him.
You think that they would have?
No,
Look,
yeah,
he's between
never
his
mind.
balls,
Yeah,
or what
no.
would be his balls. They heightened him up in certain shots to be
Yeah.
like, nah, it's fine. That
No.
moth ain't that tall.
Yeah, no,
Come on
he's
now.
bad. This is
This
my
is
apology.
trash.
This is
It's
my
trash.
This is my
The
apology.
moment he sacrificed. Yes, I understand.
If you don't just go pee and
I wanna be.
stop yelling in the hall. Yeah, looking at this shot right now, yeah. I thought Gohan was a little taller and maybe some part of the blast would hit him. But no, Gohan should absolutely be dead. Unless this is some type of scatter shot, like shotgun type energy blast, and it's just hitting certain parts of Piccolo, Gohan should be
R.
dead.
Ares 1 says, don't forget didn't try to write Shakespearean work, but
And the
he's still
only
a
argument
genius.
is only
Arya says,
it's
How
the
did this
moment.
blast even kill
Yes,
him?
I understand.
Did it just
the
cause
moment.
internal damage?
But
and
it
if so,
makes
can
no
people not
I know
regrow organs
somebody
like he
was-
can limbs?
Several people, and I just let you go.
My good, how dare you? That was very rude.
I get that logical. It makes no sense, but I can't help but be a sucker for a sacrifice, or maybe I'm getting soft. No, sacrifices are great if you attach to the characters involved with the sacrifice, or being sacrificed, or being saved during the sacrifice. No, he should be dead. And I have no problem with people disattaching from
Detaching,
detaching,
unretaching.
undisretaching from the logic of the scene for the emotion of it, or at least the emotion outweighs whatever logic the scene would have. We are not attached to the scene though, so we can only really look at it through the logic of it, and the logic of it makes no sense.
It cannot be overstated how powerful this moment is. For most of us in the English-speaking world, the Z anime was our first experience with this story, which means that just shy of 40% of the story was missing to us. And as a result, much of the Saiyan arc's bombshell moments such as these are muted in the grand context of the series. One moment we're introduced to Goku.
Yes, and now
Nami the goat says, "Why are y'all feeling things? It's just cartoons."
You know what?
You know what? Why didn't we think of that? It's cartoon, and he made that argument again recently. I think it was during the Demon Slayer Revisited.
Of
it
course.
was essentially a
Of
revisit.
course.
Goku, and the next we're told he's an alien. One moment we're introduced to Piccolo.
Make a bet if he says iconic for this scene. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Meme Spice says,
But people could
"It would be
just
better
go
if
to
he
the
crouched
video.
in front of him and hold him so his back is to the blast."
It would be a lot better in a lot of different ways.
Iconic in the next 4 minutes. Yes. No. Max 100,000 or 1,000,000 using a 2-minute timer. Two-minute timer. So exclamation point bet, 0 for yes, 1 for no, and then the amount you want to bet. Exclamation point bet, 0 for yes, 1 for no, and then the amount you want to bet. Why is it who will tap first? I have no idea. Oh yeah, no, that just always comes up when I do this.
And told he was a villain before we see he's good again. Or at
Mark
worst,
Muntz says, "Why did Piccolo save Gohan? Gohan hadn't been wished back yet. At best, Gohan goes on timeout for a few weeks as they find the Dragon Balls. Piccolo would have been more useful than Gohan."
Because he was female emotional.
100%. That's it.
anti-villain. The pieces are there, but the sheer weight of what the first 40% of the story provided is not. Piccolo's sacrifice here is one of Dragon Ball's final.
Look at this. Look at where Gohan is.
Look at
And
the crater around him.
Yeah, this makes no sense, y'all.
Devin Ogugwa says, "Leo Luster is racist."
Well, yeah, but a lot of people are.
Finest character moments. It's the culmination of a character arc spanning so many volumes, and it's a moment Toriyama spent so much time building to in this arc alone. This is a character born with the sole desire to kill Son Goku, and more than that, was born with this goal specifically in mind. One inherited from his creator, and one evidenced with malicious force as he mercilessly broke all of Goku's limbs in their first iconic battle.
Buster says, "Yes sir, yes sir, yes sir."
Hey, more people bet for no than yes. That's the crazy part.
Whoops.
Whoops.
Oh, YouTube is also implemented. I don't know if this is just on mobile or not, but when you do an emote, it gets bigger than a normal chat than it was before, because it was just really small before. And then it just gets bigger. So now I can implement more words, and I'm very happy about that.
All right then.
Let me see if I can show you.
Oh, we can do it after the stream. I'll
No,
just
it's
see the-
fine. We need to do it now. I also want to see if it shows up on
on desktop.
yeah. Let's do the iconic.
Still small. Still small. Still small.
Am I crazy? Did it not do the thing?
No, I guess it didn't do
I don't
the
know.
thing. I
I
guess
guess-
you were a crazy man.
I guess I'm just a crazy man.
I guess you
I
dreamed
seen
that-
it.
Nah,
I
guess-
seen it. I
guess-
did.
Maybe it was a super sticker.
No, it was just a normal. I saw it.
Nah, I think
I
DA's
saw it.
going
It
crazy.
did the thing. I was like, yo, that's pretty cool.
I think DA's
Cole, what happened? Am I crazy? I saw it.
I guess DA's going a little
No,
bit crazy.
help.
I guess DA. Sorry, y'all. DA,
Sorry.
he's off his rocker.
Maria Mary says, Nappa, that's crazy. How did he even shield the kid? Anyways, time to fire a second beam.
It might be for generic YouTube emotes.
Nami the goat
No, it was
says,
for. I remember.
"Y'all
I
niggas
tested
better be
it.
Twerking for Gear 5.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be heavy twerking.
Dutch says,
That's fine.
the EFAP React war has started again.
It never ended.
Oh my goodness.
But this arc changes everything. Killing Goku in this battle against Raditz technically achieves Piccolo's goal, but it's never seen as such, nor is it presented that way. In fact, Piccolo compliments Goku's prowess in the battle, and he uses his death as merely a means to rile up Raditz by reminding him Goku will live again. The change is already clear at this point, but as Piccolo takes Gohan away to train him, this transition in alignment only becomes stronger, to the point that God himself actively tells us this is the case. In fact, arguably before Piccolo even realizes it himself. Throughout Gohan's training, Piccolo is a brutal master. On the surface, he leaves Gohan to fend for himself, but still takes the time to leave him apples. He removes Gohan's tail for the sake of removing a weakness, but follows up with clothing and a weapon. Every dark moment is followed by one of tenderness, and by the time the battle rolls around, their chemistry is strong to the point of being referred to collectively. We've become far stronger. And as Nappa faces Gohan, Piccolo makes a choice. He casts aside not just his life, but the Dragon Balls too. He puts aside every.
This is good analysis.
Sure, but it's easy to do so.
The reason I pointed it out is because we don't see it.
But this is the easy thing to do with Piccolo. He was evil and now he's good. He
But
did
he's-
good things.
But I feel like Mark has been doing it a lot throughout even if it's a lot of flowery language. Now, make no mistake, there's been a ton of trash. But when earlier on we were making fun of his all of it has culminated into this, all my years of script writing, I feel like he's gotten better at understanding, or maybe it's just his love of Dragon Ball that
no,
allows
I
him to
think
bring
that's
it out.
it, and I think that this is an easy thing to talk about. Because he didn't do this for Chaozu and Tien.
He did. We just didn't care. He was
No.
all about the themes of
they're-
the story.
they were friends, and this muff is dead, and he liked him. That was his entire thing. There was nothing to talk about, but there's a lot to talk about here because it's so in your face.
But we don't see people talk about it. We don't see. No. I don't mean just like on a Reddit. I mean
No
analyst
problem,
people.
your dad beat the shit out of you for no reason, but hey, you got ice cream.
Yeah. We're going to the park.
For this child he is nurtured and bonded with over the last several months, and gives up his life instead. And it's at this moment the facade drops. What Cloud realized.
No. What are we
Aria
doing?
says, DA, please let Mark have this before he starts going on about emotional paneling.
Are we doing behind the animation?
We can speed that up a little bit more.
Months ago finally comes pouring out of Piccolo's own mouth. Gohan changed him. Quote, "You were the only one who ever really talked to me." That familial path he was set on by his creator was
I
disrupted.
don't like that.
Yeah.
Because he never gave the opportunity for other people to talk to him.
He isolated himself after his big L. And then
And he rocked up just like, yeah, I'm Piccolo and I'm here to kill you all. What opportunity is there to talk to him? He was forced to talk to you because you were the only two people around.
no, Mark. I outright
Cotton
said
Hope says,
trash.
Piccolo only took that blast to his clothing. And insides, I guess.
I outright said trash. I'm just saying that particular part was good. The flowery language stuff he's done has been good. End of praise.
by the sheer innocence and love of a child. A running theme in this arc is that of bucking existing expectations based on this idea of...
So we got 3 themes now.
This is why thematic talk is worthless. Because
King Kel
Third
says,
theme.
and even after this, Piccolo continues to not hang out with people.
absolutely. even when training. This is why themes are such nonsense. Because if three or four things happen, you can always say a running theme of this thing is this, and now this is tying into it. It's a worthless critique, unless it's just in passing. Your argument should not hinge on the fact that it's a theme and this thing is tying into that theme. Will he say objective? Absolutely not.
Will he say objective?
Absolutely not. He's saying theme a ton of a lot. Let's run another bet then. Does he say theme again outside of the next 20 seconds? Does he say theme again before behind the animation? Mark, say again before behind the animation.
That could have been better worded, like his first taste of bonding or connection with another. The OG version makes it sound like Piccolo was just
Cotton Hope
misunderstood.
says, the theme of Dragon Ball is death is meaningless.
That is a theme of Dragon Ball,
Maria
yes.
Neri says, why didn't Piccolo use his giant form or stretch his arms to pull Gohan out of the way?
A lot of things could have been done to prevent Gohan from dying in that point. BG is fine with it. I am less fine with it.
I'm fine with the I'm being an emotional creature
In the moment.
and doing a thing that an emotional creature will do. No problem there.
But you have the reaction of, you have to have reaction as fast as you can move, which is light speed. So there's a lot of things that you could have done in that moment.
I'm just telling y'all, I'm not counting him saying theme within the next 20 to 30 seconds because he's already said it, so he's probably going to say it again to tie back into it. I'm counting anything past the, let's just call it 45-25.
Inherited responsibility. Others having
Mark
expectations
Muntz
of
says, Piccolo be like, I can see you're dying painfully, but just talk to me. Ask me how's my day going instead of screaming bloody murder.
Yeah, I see I just crushed your leg, but how's your wife?
Gohan as Goku's firstborn son. Goku learning he's in many ways the antithesis of what the Saiyans represent in the cosmos, and Piccolo, in a similar fashion we can see, has struggled with his own identity issues since his arrival in the story. This sort of messaging is all over this arc. Even Gohan...
Why would Gohan stand like this? He has never trained with Goku. I don't think he's ever seen Goku fight.
That is true.
Why would he stand like this? Goku learned this through martial arts.
as far as to subvert or
Piccolo has seen him
Did
fight.
he just say subvert?
You know he did. But Piccolo has seen him fight, so maybe he was just like, oh, this is how your daddy fights. And he goes, I want to do that as well.
That would have been fine if we saw it.
But that's the same argument with the soul. I was about to say the soul cannon. What the is the soul cannon? The spirit bomb. How did I get soul cannon out of that?
That sounds like the Dollar General version of Pepsi. The cola.
His spirit gun. His new attack, the soul cannon. Oh man, I just had a stroke. I'm sorry, y'all. Oh, what the?
expectations of certain characters. Take Gohan, for example, son of the main character, and his very first ki blast, his first signature technique, isn't a Kamehameha, it's a move from Piccolo. A move literally called Masenko, or Demon Flash. This is all to say that the message of this arc has always been that who we are is not and should not be dictated to us by our race, by our culture, or our relatives. In the same way, Goku was demonized by Raditz for being unlike
Anko
how...
says, apparently Soul Cannon is a skill in Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Again, this is more good analysis.
But it's theme analysis.
Absolutely. But he's explaining. That's my point. Earlier on, he was just going, a theme of the story is blank and moved on. He's talking about the messaging, the way it ties into what Raditz was doing, all this.
Piccolo did the Masenko when he was first born, and then Gohan did it.
Culture or our relatives.
Damn,
In the
bro. This video is horrible.
He is doing the basics, and that's
It's not even
more
the
than
same hand position.
that's more than we get.
same way Goku was demonized by Raditz for being unlike how he viewed a Saiyan should be, Piccolo too was born with expectations and believed he needed to live up to those expectations.
Now this is bad. Because I think Piccolo was just born and became this way. Did Demon King Piccolo raise this Piccolo?
No,
I
he
would
was just
submit-
born bad, just like
Yes.
the Saiyans are born bad.
So this whole, he grew up with the expectations of, based on what?
As they were his life's greatest purpose. He even believed it. But as pointed out by Gohan, his father would tell him that Piccolo wasn't ever really a bad person like King Piccolo was before him. And firsthand, Gohan discovered that Piccolo was quite the opposite to how many had described him before. And that's what this moment is. A culmination of everything. A final act of defiance against who he expected himself to be in order to be true to who he is. No longer living a lie, instead choosing to die the hero. It is genuinely one of Toriyama's finest character moments and a real triumph in an arc full of incredible scenes. This is what relief feels like. Toriyama has given us so much in this arc, placed our point of view onto
Okay, now this is starting to get flowery and bad.
Gohan, formed new bonds with unlikely heroes, demonstrated the tenacity of Earth in more ways than one, and systematically has torn down and taken away each and every one of these. Culminating with and teasing the final nail in the coffin, Gohan's ultimate defeat and death at the hands of Nappa, only to remind us that this is still Goku's story.
The hero shows
There's
up right
something
when
to
they
be
need
said
him
for
to.
how Goku arrives on the battlefield during the Saiyan arc. And while it's effortlessly cool to watch this offbeat, somewhat lighthearted character nonchalantly waltz from one side of the battlefield to the next without so much as acknowledging Vegeta or Nappa's taunts and jeers. In a way, by virtue of being true to his own values, by being silent, by
R.
focusing
Aries 1 says, BG here is one gold glowing star for you, Mark.
Yep. He was a good noodle for a point of time in this video.
first and foremost on his friends, showing sentiment and concern for their well-being, Goku's attitude, by default, flies in the face and insults the Saiyan way of life. It immediately communicates to us as readers what this situation really is. At this point, Goku has so astronomically surpassed Nappa, he isn't even really a concern to him. And while Nappa sees this as Goku having a death wish rather than a concern for his loved ones, we as readers know otherwise. It sets up...
But Vegeta could have blasted him, and he couldn't have gotten Kaioken in time,
Okay to be confused.
and he would have died, or would have been hurt, or he could have moved, which Piccolo could have done.
this level of impending catharsis, or should I say impending beatdown, that only Goku can deliver. Once again, Goku, by being who he is, rejects the supposed way of life Vegeta and Nappa represent.
What's that way of
Why
life?
would you do this, Mark?
It's not a. It's an evil versus a good thing. Goku
Yes.
is a good person, and they are not good people.
Yes.
It has
But
nothing to do.
the way of life is something Goku still wants, which is the battle. He lets Vegeta go strictly because he hopes one day to fight him again.
Chris the Chilled says, DA, it is okay to be confused.
Yes, it is okay to be confused.
It's okay to be confused. What?
Goku versus Nappa. Much
Is that what the actual thing was?
Yeah, it was always 8,000.
Oh no.
like Piccolo, Goku was
Yeah,
believed to be sent
Chris Savage, as he back in the day, back when Kai was coming out, he was in direct contact with the Japanese producers, and he was just like, they sent him notes. It was just like, hey, this line is supposed to be 8,000. You put it as 9,000. He's like, no, it needs to be 9,000. Otherwise, people will yell at us. And he was able to get that in there. But no, it was always 8,000.
Stupid.
It's fine.
to this world to conquer it, to kill, to ravage, to enslave, but that wasn't who Piccolo
Cotton
was.
Candy Hope says, this word makes word, and in my word to word for me.
I mean, fair.
And as Nappa is quickly finding out, that isn't who Goku is either. To Nappa, sentiment, mercy, consideration for others are all signs of weakness. Weakness that leads him to vastly underestimate Goku when he first...
But that doesn't make too much sense.
Banned. Gone. Forever.
But that doesn't make too much sense when he holds out his hand like, Vegeta, let's go. Thanks a lot for helping me up. What does that fit into this?
He acted with some form of camaraderie.
He expected Vegeta to help him.
And was upset when Vegeta didn't.
Where does that fit into this?
engaged with...
Raditz was just like, my compatriots will avenge me. Where does that fit into this?
Says, Mark's parlance and dialect devolves into word salad whenever he needs to fill rhyme.
Ah, you meant time.
Parlance? Is parlance a word? I'm gonna say it is.
What's so fascinating about this fight is that it actually marks an important shift in Akira Toriyama's philosophy. If you cast your minds back to the pre-Z portion of the story, Goku's small demeanor was used to create David versus Goliath type moments, the smaller power besting giants, so to speak. Whether it be King Piccolo or Sergeant Metallic, Goku's small stature and excitable personality was pitted against these huge menacing foes. And Goku's fight...
But it doesn't matter if he's stronger, and he showcased that early on he's stronger than most people. So it doesn't matter if it's like David versus Goliath.
And I don't... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, it just matters the strength
Aries 1
thing.
says, in my opinion, Dragon Ball is objectively iconic. In my opinion, I think.
He's trying to tie it into this. It harkens back to those old days of a David versus Goliath type thing. But we've seen several people be stronger than Goku, or as strong as Goku, or roughly the same strength of Goku since the initial time skip where he grew up, that were roughly of the same stature, that just being a hulking figure isn't good enough.
It means nothing. And Toriyama was interviewing saying that he likes to do the little person is stronger than the big person. That's why he did the Nappa and Vegeta. Nappa and Vegeta. That's why he did in Frieza's third form, he's huge and then he shrinks back down. That's why he did Kid Buu. He likes doing that thing. And this is just another one of those things. Again, it doesn't matter about how big you are if you're just weaker.
Against Nappa is an awesome one and follows this same approach. Just look at how small Goku is pictured against this guy, only to style on him again and again and again, with Toriyama breaking out some of the more dynamic and fun angles in his toolkit. It's a short but incredibly cathartic bout that's been much needed amidst all that was lost. But it's here that Akira Toriyama flips the design philosophy on its head. Vegeta, a tiny speck of a man.
See, he just said design philosophy. Toriyama, as you said in that interview, it doesn't flip the design philosophy. He likes the smaller guy being stronger than the bigger guy.
This has been going on constantly. Little Krillin was fighting big people.
I don't know what his argument here is, because he just said he flipped the design philosophy on his head. I guess the people that Goku goes against. But again, we got Piccolo and we got Raditz, who were roughly of the same stature.
Ruthlessly obliterates Nappa in an instant. The smaller of the pair is by far the most powerful, and in spite of Goku's bout against Nappa serving to show us just how much he's improved, this surprise moment, this switch up in design philosophy not only brutally brings reality crashing back down around us, but it also reminds us that this isn't the same happy-go-lucky Dragon Ball we all know and love anymore.
But
Who knows?
They established that Vegeta was stronger. Surely Goku could feel that Vegeta was stronger. This is a known thing that Vegeta is stronger than Nappa.
From Frieza's tiniest form being his most mighty, to the same being true for Cell, and of course the minuscule evil Buu really slams this philosophy home. It's a simple but effective switching conveyance of power, and man, it sure does nicely set the stage.
But it switched earlier when we had people like Piccolo and Raditz. It's already been done!
For arguably the greatest clash in the history of shonen manga.
What?
Yeah, arguably the greatest.
Who could
person
argue
ever.
that?
Mark is gonna.
I have touched exclusively on the manga so far because I've always been.
Alright, let's speed this part up. We are people that do not care about animation, so
If it's like a minute and he's not saying anything that we can talk about, we could just skip it wholesale.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
Most people did.
Jesus.
The most replayed is right after.
Oh my goodness. That's gotta make him feel
Of
bad.
the mind that approaching the story in its purest form. Right
The
from
story of David and Goliath was inspired by Goku versus Nappa.
author
R.
is the
Ares 1 says, Kid Buu is weaker than Super Buu. He's just more wild.
Yeah.
He hungers for hosts.
Hey.
Do you guys think there's a genuine argument to be made that Shonen has brain-rotted a lot of anime fans?
Absolutely.
First off, our Aries, check this
Leo
out.
Luster
The
says,
argument's still
What
being
the hell are you
made.
talking about? There was a switch in tone when Oppa Dad died in the Red Ribbon arc.
There's an argument to be made about Boo Tink versus Kid Boo. I've delved into that as well. Why? I don't know. It's a stupid argument,
DA,
but
what are you
there
doing?
are debates.
See you later,
that people
Hope.
are just going, yo, he's stronger.
Live the life of the cup.
DA, why are you doing that?
'Cause
Why do you do this?
I
to yourself?
like torturing myself. Brain rot, yes.
Congratulations to Dutch for winning the jackpot of 865,000
That
scam
does
bucks.
not bode well for the
Oh, shit.
auction stream.
This will be the last auction stream of this economy. Thank you, Toriyama, for making short people. Thank you for the super chat, Nami.
In time, always deep in time.
Yeah, the points are just too outlandish. There's definitely got to be some resets. Some people only come for the auction streams, basically, so they never have a chance to build up legitimately 500,000 points. This argument was kind of put to rest when the anime director said that Buhan and Bootinks were stronger than Kid Buu because he was a fusion and the logic behind the staff was fusions were the strongest.
I understand that, but he's not the man who made the show.
What does Toriyama say?
I know Toriyama. We don't put a mic
Interview.
in front of Toriyama's face. I understand that, but this is just his opinion. That because there was also the dude that made Broly was just like, no, Broly's the strongest movie villain of all time, and he was just like, oh, my Broly could be that Broly. So
ALX is coming to an end. BG will sacrifice DA to achieve his dreams, scamming the entire world.
There are no scams.
be a sacrifice for the Bayonet, the true eclipse.
so far because I've always been of the mind that approaching the story in its purest form, right from the author, is the best way to examine a story. But this is Dragon Ball Z. I would imagine almost all of us got into this series through the anime, whether it be on Toonami back in the day or through Kai if you're part of the next generation. It's a cultural landmark of a series, and the staff who put it together are just as important to its worldwide success as Akira Toriyama himself. And so I want to take you on a journey with the staff who made this show a reality. Explore their styles and how their hierarchy changed across the show.
Yeah, this is
Nah,
something
we're
we
good.
Has Music Mark made an appearance? No, Don. Thank you for the super chat. And he shan't make an appearance. Thank you for the super chat.
You've never super chatted before. What are you doing?
King Keld says, Toriyama, Cell Max is the biggest and the strongest. Hashtag stronger than Brawly.
I have a feeling that one of these are gonna feature Music Mark. It's gonna happen eventually.
Eventually. But I don't think it's going to happen for the Saiyan arc. In fact, Behind the Animation might have Music Mark in it. But
We'll
we
never
won't
know.
Whoa,
Music Mark will be skipped, y'all. If you voted for in viewer request month, it will be skipped, y'all. I will pull my scam card on you.
How? It's your request.
I know.
All things
I
should
know.
be available to be viewed.
Yep. But well, hey, what if it's not though?
What if we just spit in the face of viewer request?
Last viewer request month, it was like, oh, I guess this video is just deleted, so we can't do it. We could just be like, hey, Mark, can you please just private this for like a month, please?
Unlist it just a little while.
just a little bit.
Oh, yeah, no, we just did it. Yep, so... Wow, 7 for 7? That's crazy. The winner are no. He did not say theme again. Not even within the 20-second window I gave him.
Your computer is dying. Your computer is bad.
He Hungers for Her says, the Universe 6 Saiyans look awful. When I first saw Kale, she looked like an animated Paul Stanley from Kiss and Drag.
I like Khalifa's hair a lot. It harkens back to Super Saiyan 4, and I like it a lot. Is Khalifa the one that I'm thinking of?
Which one are you thinking of?
Not the meek one.
Oh, then you're thinking of Khalifa.
Yeah, I like her. I like her hair a lot. I don't like her outfit. It seems kind of boring. Same thing with Kale. Same thing with Kaba, as a matter of fact.
The only reason I can even know the difference between them is because I can see the aggressive one going Kelu a lot.
If you say so.
Alright,
What
Aries 1
is
says,
this?
viewer request month, self-instinct Goku origin, triggered ReZero video and music mark.
Oh,
Jesus
dude.
Christ.
Oh, no.
Bullet straight to the brain.
Yeah, no, that would be the worst in history.
DA rarely pulls a scam card, but he mostly pulls it out. Okay, never mind.
Cup life, 100%. Live the life of the cup.
Need to read these things.
I'm scamming you out of reading your in chat.
Act 3. Goku versus Vegeta. My friends, this is arguably the
Oh, dude. Lily on top of it.
We're gonna have to fudge the numbers.
Dutch says, viewer request month equals Lily month.
No.
No.
We should have a caveat of whatever the highest of that creator is. That's the video that gets in. So it's just not flooded with the
Devin
same
Ogugwa
people.
says, iconic time.
It's always been
Dutch
iconic
says,
time.
Yes.
greatest fight in all of Dragon Ball. Arguably the most iconic battle in all of...
Viewer request month. Terms and conditions may apply.
is arguably the greatest fight in all of Dragon Ball. Arguably the most iconic battle in...
It's just a clock. It's always iconic time. It's a clock with the 12 numbers are just iconic. It is always just, oh dear, look at the time.
It's truly the look at the time, man.
It is always iconic time.
all of Japanese
Meme
manga.
Spice says, while we are here, how far are y'all on FFX?
I'm about halfway through it.
I haven't even started, but I'm gonna start up this week. I had a lot to
R.
do
Aries 1
following
says,
my trip.
iconicness.
Ugh.
An anime, and for me, it is the single most influential and important fight scene.
What's the problem?
We have never, for a single solitary moment in this f***ing month, left.
That's fine.
Iconic, influential. It never stopped. It was always here.
I'll ever watch. Why? Because this is the very first time I ever saw Dragon Ball. However, if we push aside my internal
Pause. If this is the very first time that you saw Dragon Ball, it shows exactly what you and other people like you are looking for. You don't understand the story. This guy just turned into a monkey. These guys are shooting blasts. The green guy is dead. Little bald guy. Is that guy his kid? I don't know. But you're just looking at it and you're just going, wow, this is very cool. You are fucking lying! I guess he wasn't thinking that.
You know, as a kid, all that stuff is totally fine. I just want to see the big hype fights. I'm just waiting for those moments, blah, 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 blah. I'm not really trying to engage with the emotions of the character.
My favorite character as a kid was Krillin because I thought he was funny.
Okay, that's fine.
R. Aries 1 says, aren't iconic, influential, and emblematic technically synonyms?
Hey, you
says,
shut up!
Iconic this, iconic that. Dick is iconic, but you don't see me praising it 24/7, and I love Dragon Ball.
But at some point, you have to grow
I'm
up.
just so tired of this stupid shit.
I'm just so tired of it. You have to grow up and understand that those things are not enough anymore. those feelings you had back then should have changed to where you go, hey, the hype is fine, but the logic of the story, with the characters, the emotions of the story, they aren't hitting, really.
Yeah, especially when you consider like power level stuff. Vegeta, why would he hold back? One punch, if he's 18,000 or whatever, and Goku is maxed out 8,000, why doesn't that one punch just knock his head off?
For a split second, I think there's a lot of merit to the suggestion that this is a story known for having some of the best fight scenes in anime, and this could very well be Dragon Ball's finest.
Some of the best fight scenes in anime?
Yeah, I don't think so. It's a lot of punching and kicking until the next punching and kicking. I always bring this up, and I've not heard a single pushback. If
Leo Lester
Vegeta...
says, "What do you mean? All people who love Dragon Ball, seemingly just the Z anime, just love their nostalgic feelings and lack of thinking." Neo Arcadia says, "But it's the iconic anime that not
We're
even Year
almost
5
done.
can hope to compare according to anime Twitter and YouTube."
But it's gonna take longer if they keep.
We're almost done. But I always say this. If Vegeta had turned Super Saiyan 2 instead of Gohan, how exactly would the fight have changed? What can Gohan do that Vegeta can't, and vice versa? There is no
Aries
special
one
way that
says,
Vegeta fights that
"If
Gohan
power
doesn't."
levels weren't introduced, I truly believe the story would have been better."
Probably.
Yeah, because then Frieza would have been an obtainable level of strength instead of just going. Krillin's not even 1 million, and this guy is in 50 million, 150 million.
It's always nostalgia, but nostalgia should.
No, you know whatever you're about to say, you know. So just stop.
Sure, it might not hit the iconic highs of the...
The iconic highs of Frieza versus Goku. What?
When people are writing a
Devin
script,
Ogugwa says, "DBZ YouTubers got one story to tell in their entertainment."
when they look at the script and they just go
Control F, iconic.
not even Control F, they're writing it out and they have to just go ICONIC. How do they not in their mind go, wow, I have done this particular sequence of keystrokes 7 times in this script?
And then when you say it and you're reading it, you go, I feel like I said this iconic a couple of times.
Aries 1 says,
but they don't care. Because
"Mark
it's just
is
a
high
word.
on iconic." Meme Spice says, "WTF is that foot?"
Oh no!
Whoa! Goku!
His leg is broken.
He doing a stanky leg!
That's not even where his knee is!
Holy crap!
Curio 4 says, "Iconic this, iconic that. Maybe you should use suck cock then."
Frieza versus Goku fight, or excitement...
Okay, I was gonna say, like, maybe it was an in-between frame, but that was on there for, like, a second. You can't not notice that.
around the world like cells, but what this fight does better than any other, in my opinion, is do everything. And I do mean everything right. One of the first things I noticed when reading this fight was how Toriyama liked to play with characters' positioning to invite tension and to establish a sense of hierarchy, which is perfectly fitting for a fight scene designed to explore the themes of class. The mission statement of the fight is reiterated right from the outset, quote, "On this planet, we know that even the lowest born can outdo the elite."
Aries 1 says, "Palmer Cocoa Butter you, know the rest."
You know the rest.
If they work hard enough, says Goku.
In what way? Who is a low-born person on this planet beating an elite person on this planet?
Because the
what
Saiyans are
reference
elite.
is he pulling from?
The Saiyans are elite. Who's beating Goku?
Goku came out on top perpetually.
But Krillin worked to be at Goku's level at one point. Goku is naturally this person. So once he starts working, Krillin falls behind.
So this means nothing.
Dutch says, "Will it hive at you in heart attack if you don't use themes in a video essay?"
It gives them less to talk about if they don't talk about themes.
Hi Zaldonix says, Mark, Goku doesn't care about class.
Yeah, I don't know why he's saying this. Because he has, like I
Because
said, he
the
has
story-
no reference.
the
The story cares about it, absolutely, but he doesn't know if Nappa's elite, so he beat Nappa, so it's not like he's going, I already beat an elite. He doesn't know that. And he doesn't know if he's stronger than Vegeta yet, because the fight hasn't happened. So what reference is he pulling from?
In
I guess
response-
maybe Tao.
But was Tao?
But what does
Born
he
high
know
class.
about Tao's history?
that, Vegeta says, "Now I'll show you the wall you could never scale with hard work alone." This difference in worldview is specifically what this fight is about. Vegeta sees himself as
But Goku lost.
Yeah, he kind of did prove the wall that hard work couldn't, and then later it was disproven. But here, no, Vegeta's right. Because he has to pump up his abilities like 3 times as much. And you can't go, oh, Vegeta's cheating by going on Zaruks, like, so he's cheating by increasing his powers, like Goku did?
And then Goku needed help, and even then, that man was bedridden
Yeah.
after he was finished.
So Vegeta's right? It can only be like Vegeta lost because he was alone.
Ares 1 says, how about some triggered theme talk?
Oh, dude.
No. Like I said,
I don't think he has the mental capabilities to discuss a theme of a story.
he tried. In the Demon Slayer thing.
I don't remember that.
It's bad.
I don't remember that.
higher than Goku.
Vegeta got jumped.
He lost on a technicality. Tiny arm.
And thus, Toriyama reflects this inflated sense of authority onto Vegeta by positioning him physically higher up than Goku. During the beginning standoff, he's seen as slightly higher, reflecting Vegeta's confidence. However, after that first exchange ends with Vegeta clearly getting the better of it, that confidence is validated and grows. Vegeta is naturally the stronger of the two and is positioned even higher again.
Mark Munt
Up un-
says, people forget after Kaioken X4, Goku was in so much pain even a casual slap from Yajirobe made him scream in pain. Vegeta would have beaten Goku even without the Ozaru form.
Yeah, he just got mad. Mm-hmm. Vegeta got a 4-on-1 and then it still was a tie. Yes, this is a visual metaphor, visual storytelling, and it's fine.
It's good.
It's good.
Until now, it has been very rarely seen that Goku is the weaker of the two fighters in any given arc.
Neo Arcadia
What happened with
says,
Tao?
does anyone think Toriyama was thinking this hard when he was making the Saiyan Saga?
I think that the purposeful positioning I think he did that on purpose.
And I think the discussion of classism he did on purpose, just to showcase everything. Demon King Piccolo, Tao, Jackie Chun, Tien, Raditz. What is this guy talking about?
Heck, the purpose of some of those early tournament arcs was specifically to follow other characters as they navigate solutions to Goku's obvious strength advantages. But this arc establishes Goku as the clear weaker of the two, not as a swerve at the end of a battle hard fought, but instead at the beginning. Why? Because now, with the strength question having been answered, all that remains left for Goku to lean on are the attributes he has that separate him specifically from the likes of Vegeta. And those traits are the techniques he's learned and the friendships he's forged.
The techniques he's learned, sure. Those could have been a bunch of strangers. As long as they were on the battlefield and willing to contribute and did the exact same things, nothing changed.
Angel Essence
Oh, thank
Goku,
goodness.
Dragon Instinct Goku, Spirit Saiyan Goku, Primal Instinct Goku.
We are really praising Toriyama for the basics. Because at
always
some
do.
point, he lost the basics of the basics. Thank you for the super chat, Nami.
I didn't realize this small detail on my first read-through, but during Goku's bout with Nappa, there's an instance where he takes his blast head-on, or should I say chest-on, hands up in the air with his ki and gi absorbing the blast as if it were nothing. Seeing this made me recall what King Kai also said to Goku about his gi when he was gifting it to him towards the end of their training before he left. That being that it could deflect small attacks. Symbolically, the gi he's wearing...
What is a small attack?
What? I forgot about that.
We're gonna get into your thing eventually, but what constitutes a small attack in the Gi's mind? Is it based on whatever the strength of the wearer has? Because
or the max strength of the person who gave it to him.
What is the small blast to the Gi?
Because a small blast to a Chaozu is different than a small blast to a Goku.
Yes. Would Chaozu wearing that Gi survive a blast from Nappa because it stopped the blast?
What? I clean forgot about that.
One thing that always bothered me was the characters constantly saying that they're mutants who are just born that strong. It feels like the only person in the universe training is Goku.
Yeah, it's they have to, but it's a lot of prodigies type stuff. So,
yeah.
And Vegeta trained later, but he was. Just
oh wow, we got a lot of packages out there.
That's fine. I don't think any of those are mine, so I don't care.
Unbelievable. Well, I guess I'm going to go get my packages.
Hey, I found it. Look at that. Did I find it? Help! Help! He's got a messed up Gi! I'm not going to read anybody's anything. He didn't... Okay, here it is. No, it's not. I'm looking for it. It's an incredibly strong fabric that can even repel minor attacks. And that's all that was said about it. While you're waiting here for your friends to wish you back, let's fix those ripped clothes of yours. Yeah, it is 2 panels, and I've never realized it. Hey, that's real dumb. Why is it minor attacks? Why can't he make things that major attacks? Toriyama inspired the basics. It would have been butt writing if Goku was just not as strong and then everybody died. Yeah, it's simple stuff. He had to get stronger than he needed to be, just like with Frieza. He's rocking up 3 million. Frieza's 50 million. He's just like, okay, I need to get as strong, and he does.
They were all for Chris except for one, and mine was for the house anyway.
Hey, look at that. Yeah, it is literally just. It is made of an incredibly strong fabric that can repel minor attacks. That's what it says in the manga.
Represents the first line of defense against the Saiyans from his friends, and in this first flurry with Vegeta, it gets torn to rags, proving that Vegeta's going to be a real tough opponent to overcome, even with all that sets Goku apart from him. And in this moment, with the appropriate stressors on Goku, now we get to measure what makes him special against a character like Vegeta. And interestingly, this pushes Goku in ways...
If you want to call out the fabric being teared and stuff, we have to realize that why don't fabric get teared a lot?
It's okay to be confused.
The attack murdered Piccolo, but his clothes were just a little bit ripped, and his whole it got basically torn up. He could take full on blast and then just be not naked. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense in that way.
Against a character like Vegeta. And interestingly, this pushes Goku in ways he's never been pushed before. It's an incredible surge of energy, but one that comes with its own drawbacks, both literally and figuratively, through Vegeta's own furious reaction and counter. Notice how at the beginning he was positioned as this ever-looming figure looking down at the wretched lower-class offspring that Goku represented. But now, Goku brought Vegeta to his knees, forcing Vegeta's hand in one of the best and most effective symbolic clashes from this fight, soaring high into the sky, the prince of all Saiyans, the elite of the elite, burning brighter than Goku could ever possibly imagine, looking down from on high, the self-professed most powerful in the universe, and right beneath him as the only
I don't think he ever professed that, because if he did, he knows he's lying.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna destroy your planet, but I can't breathe in space.
But my pod can. I'll just zip zap over there before I got the big freeze, and we'll be good.
Okay, so his pod can survive his blast.
How would this have been strong enough to destroy the Earth, but Frieza's thing wasn't strong enough to destroy Namek instantly?
Because Namek was bigger.
That's not that.
Disprove me.
Thank you for re-upping to being a bum, Isaiah. Stop peeing so much. King Piccolo didn't push Goku as much as Vegeta did, but the kid Piccolo broke all of his limbs. So what are we doing? Isaiah, don't do this! Thank you for the super chat. Remember when Piccolo Jr. and Goku had a beam struggle in OG? Yeah, but it's not influential. It's not
Devin
symbolic.
Ogugwa says, it's iconic, influential, thematic, and subversive.
Oh no, that was the new one. I forgot. I had a new one and it finally hit.
Hi
Thank you very
Galvanic
much.
says,
I'm glad I didn't hear
Mark
it.
should become a commentator. He knows how to make things much grander than they actually are. Neo Arcadia says, yay the beam clash, the single most iconic of all time.
The single most iconic.
It was Andy screamed.
Oh, I wish I was in here.
But instead of usual yell, I use Long's weak yell. And he screamed, ah! And that's just the alert. Thank you again for the super chat, Isaiah. Maybe there would have been a delayed explosion so Vegeta could just pop in his pod and leave before explosion. I mean,
That doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
so
How does he-
He wears himself out with the beam and then goes, all right, I'm gonna go into my pod.
Oh, the pod bleep bloop bloop to him.
So while he's firing it, he's gonna use his other hand to bleep bloop bloop to him.
Sure.
And it's gonna be like a balancing act of, all right, enough for the beam,
All right, I
it's
got
enough
2
for the explosion.
minutes until this beam explodes the planet. And I gotta leave orbit before it explodes, otherwise I'm getting caught in the blast. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But it's for the moment. And that's what people care about.
The defense between the Earth and certain destruction stands Goku, alone and exhausted.
Bro, Vegeta was gonna kill himself. Let's just stop the bush.
But Goku isn't alone. He never was.
But he is in this moment. So that means Nathan.
Erupting in a violent torrent of power, tenacity, and tremendous energy, Goku goes to use his ace, his most reliable technique, the Kamehameha. It surges from his palms to block Vegeta's earth-shattering attack. Across this incredible journey from the very first arc all the way to today, Goku has met some of the most incredible people and learned even more incredible feats and techniques from them. And fittingly, the technique that he first learned from the Earth's defender is what once again acts as a shield both for him and the planet he once defended. But symbolism isn't all there is here. In fact, I think this is where fighting as a mechanic peaks for Dragon Ball personally, where the future might yield more iconic and memorable moments.
I mean, it does deal with more iconic and memorable moments. I mean, it does.
I see.
I mean, it do.
I see.
I mean, it do, though.
Just
I mean, it do, though.
just one non-what if
I mean, it do, though.
that doesn't use influential. The Forbidden Eyes.
It do.
Snapshots in history like Goku's initial transformation on Namek or the
Mark
various
could not tell you that. Nobody could tell you that. Toriyama could, and he would bush his way through it.
forms of fusion which gave rise to tons of speculation and fan art over the years. It's this period of Dragon Ball's
Goku.
action that plays host to 3 new techniques that all share a common attribute that is perfect for building tension in the heart of combat. And this commonality these techniques all share is risk versus reward. In other words,
What's the risk of the spirit bomb?
You have to be vulnerable while you're charging it up.
Okay.
In this arc, what's the difference between the spirit bomb and the Kamehameha?
Dragon Ball fans, give me your energy.
It takes in the energy, but what does
Devin
it do
Ogugwa
that
says, why is
once
Mark
it
acting
hits
like a
you?
hype beast?
Because Mark is a hype beast. But Mark is also not a hype beast because he was just like, I'm not here for the action when he was talking about One Piece.
He's an analytical hype beast.
But yeah, what does that do? What did it do to Vegeta that
Isaiah
the
Avila
Kamehameha
says,
didn't?
I just got here. How many times has the word iconic been used this stream?
Quite a lot, actually.
Legitimately about 6 times. No lie, about 6 times.
More than you'd think, but less than you'd hope.
2 hours and about 6 times.
We can control F iconic after the stream.
Yeah, and just
That'd be
look at
fun.
this transcript.
This fight is the final
R.
culmination
Ares1 says, he's reffin' hype beast.
He's a refined hype beast, basically.
of Goku's martial arts training specifically, where fights after will be host to Goku overcoming his physical limits in terms of power and strategy. Goku versus Vegeta is the last hurrah for Goku, the martial artist.
But you show him doing a big blast.
Yeah.
How did martial arts aid him in this fight when he just went, I need to go Kaioken and then get stronger than him?
Yeah.
That wasn't martial arts. He wasn't doing counter stances and stuff like that. It was the same ta punch, I punch you, you punch me thing. He was not out martial artsing him.
The martial arts did not do anything.
So, let's take a look at this fight under the microscope to see just how it ticks and how the techniques used emphasize the ideologies and strengths of the respective fighters. But let's get something straight from the outset. Walking right up to Vegeta in the first place and asking his friends to dip was a recipe for disaster for Goku. Goku is objectively, when it comes to...
He might be right. He might be saying he's objectively
No, but
weaker.
I said he wasn't going to say objectively.
Well, you're wrong. You don't know Mark.
I guess I don't know Mark.
to dip was a recipe for disaster for Goku. Goku is objectively, when it comes to raw data, much weaker than Vegeta. He's slow.
Based on what? Can they read the exact power level of a person?
They can't, because what did they say when Trunks rocked up?
It's basically feel that energy. Or he might be stronger than Frieza. Fat Boo fights different from Super Boo. Yamcha and Tien fights different from Goku.
When was he in?
Yeah, but it's more like animalistic fighting, and that's about it. Yamcha still employs a lot of... I mean, how differently do Yamcha and Tien fight Dion? Because it's a lot of martial artsy things. Maybe the punches they use are different, but it's a lot of like martial arty thing. But I can't really say that because I haven't seen enough of them fighting in Z to really showcase that. See you later, Jenks. Thankfully, we're almost done. He's just going through the manga. Goku is 8,000 and Vegeta is 18,000, so bigger number wins. Yeah, that's all it was. It wasn't like, hey, I understand that I'm weaker, but with my techniques or with my blank, I'll be able to do this. Just Dutch, just exclamation point
says,
give.
I just checked my manga Trunks had a power level of 5.
Yeah, no, that's...
that was him very suppressed.
Yeah, we're trying to see when he starts powering up, what did the Z Fighter say?
But they only remarked that a huge power level showed up once he sliced those people up.
There you go. A huge power level. That's all they felt. They probably compare it to the power levels they know, like a Goku. And it's like, oh, it's huge. It's like under Goku. How do you give points? Exclamation point give and then the username.
Yeah, I can't imagine that they can see the entire potential of somebody. Their maxed out potential.
Or physically inferior currently and can't even rely on his battle IQ or tenacity
Damn, bro. This video is horrible.
like he usually does to make up the difference, because just like him, Vegeta is very experienced and clever. So where does Goku look when he's out of options? Well, if you think
Pause.
back...
What shows that Vegeta is clever? What did
Goku
Goku see?
Making him... Oh, well, Goku see, yeah.
Leo Luster says, for a time martial arts gave way to use their ki so it can manifest into beams, but really the only time martial skills really matter was like versus Jackie Chun.
Yeah, it really
Maria
didn't
Neri
matter
says,
post that.
what always bothered me about DBZ is that a lot of the characters don't fight much differently. Even the TMNT fight differently, lol.
Yeah, that's what I said about the Goku versus Goku and Gohan thing. Is this man has been a warrior for all of his life. This kid does not want to fight. How do they fight different? They really don't, and that's a big problem.
across all of Dragon Ball, you need to ask only one question. What does Goku always want to do? to fight strong opponents in order to get stronger. It's a very simple desire and one you might not think is too dissimilar to Vegeta's. However, there is a subtle difference to their respective goals that results in them being total opposites. While Vegeta wants to be the strongest, Goku wants to be stronger. Vegeta's end goal is him standing atop the mountain. Goku doesn't have an end goal, a destination, nothing beyond simple but consistent improvement over time.
Sure,
It's a
but once he beats the strongest, there's nowhere else for him to go. How do you get stronger if you don't fight stronger people? I guess you can just do your nebulous hyperbolic time chamber training and just get stronger, but you won't have anybody to go up against. So even though the end points may be different, they're going to be the same at the end of the day where you're just the strongest until somebody else just comes up and just like, I was making these androids and they're just stronger than you.
Oh, Dion, I agree with that. But that was still when there was a lot of martial arting going on. We're talking later on in the series, like with the Cell Vegeta thing he mentioned, where if Vegeta had turned Super Saiyan 2, what changes in the fight between Cell and Gohan, or Cell versus Vegeta? There's at a certain point, everyone is just the same Atata man.
Imperfect Cell versus Vegeta. Vegeta was beasting on them. Super Saiyan 2
Chris the
Gohan
Chill
versus
says,
Cell. He was
one of
beasting
these
on
days,
them.
I
How
want
was
you
it
guys to
different?
go over Baki the Grappler series. I call it grounded version Dragon Ball Z because how crazy the character, story, and fights are.
I hear
I
a
haven't
lot of
downloaded
good
it.
things about Baki.
I've heard about it for a very long time.
One of these days I will get into it.
I have it downloaded. I didn't read as much as I wanted to on my trip for various circumstantial reasons, but that is a whole story for it.
Did you read anything that I recommended?
I did not.
Trash. Worthless.
lesson that was reinforced unto him through his grandpa Gohan and indeed Master Roshi in early Dragon Ball. That he should keep training, keep learning, keep improving because there will always be someone else stronger around the next corner. Unlike Goku, Vegeta's worldview has a very simple and clear hierarchy structure, one within which he sees himself sitting.
But once he's the strongest, once Vegeta is the strongest, there's nobody else around the bend, because if there was, then he wouldn't be the strongest. Mm-hmm. So you could say that keep training because there might be somebody around the bend, but if you are the strongest, there is nobody else, and if there is, you aren't the strongest.
Even in something like Hajime no Ippo, almost every boxer has a different style of boxing. Ippo doesn't really fight like Wally. Wally doesn't fight like Takamura.
It's the easiest thing to do. If Piccolo had stretched more, that'd be something.
Even with people that are end-fighters in Ippo, end-fighters fight differently from each other. Outfighters fight differently from each other.
Back in the I think it was the second thing that we ever did on this channel with the super retrospective, I just went, okay, here's what we can do to differentiate 17 and 18. They both walk up to a punching bag, they do a bunch of flurry of punches, and then a big punch at the end. And then you go over to 17's, and his is just a bunch of dents where he did the punches of flurries, and then a big hole in the middle. And then you go over to 18, and there's a bunch of little holes where she did the flurry, and just a big dent in the middle. So it's just like, hers is a lot more precise, and his is just a big punch. And it's like, that differentiates them, even though they fight the same. So then you can do something with that, but there's just nothing. Goku is a martial arts person who's been training with martial arts for all of his life. Once he starts fighting with Vegeta, they're just throwing punches. What is he doing, like an overhead chop or something? Like, oh, I learned this from Roshi. No, it's just all punches. And Vegeta is throwing equal punches and kicks. You can say it's martial arts stuff, but it's really not.
Peeps and Flame of Rekka fight differently with whatever Madogo they have. And Vegeta wasn't training, even though he objectively knows there are stronger people than himself, like Zarbon, the Genyus, and every form of Frieza. I guess he was just not doing it.
It don't make sense. It just don't make sense. What would... Again, how did he just get... Is he just naturally this strong? And if he's just naturally this strong, were there never other Saiyans in the history that were in the 18,000s just naturally strong? I guess not. He was stronger than his dad when he was a kid. Okay, so
What was his dad at?
What was his dad at? How did he get stronger post that? Did he get injured and get stronger? Was it the battles and get stronger? Okay, if that's the case, why didn't Raditz get as strong? Did he not go on as many battles? Is it just, again, the Saiyan high class, low class, mid class? It can't be because Goku is that strong.
It's definitely disappointing that Piccolo doesn't really utilize his stretching abilities more. I don't think he used them against 17 Frieza, etc.
He used them on against Frost. And
That's super.
he might have
Dutch
used
says,
it in the Tournament
In
of
World
Power.
Trigger, there are different type of fighters, snipers, attackers, shooters.
It's not.
It's not hard to make different abilities in the same genre. But Dragon Ball just does it the worst that I've seen. Hands down. Naruto, they all got different abilities. In Hinata, she can't do the spin, but so she does her hand around thing. That might have been filler. It might not have been filler. Doesn't matter. But she got the twin lions thing. Neji hasn't been shown to do that. She hasn't been shown to do the air palms. That's something that Neji can do. That's something that Hinata can't do.
They're both Hyugas.
They're both Hyugas.
They both have the base level same abilities.
But we see things that Hinata can do that Neji hasn't been shown to do, I'll say.
At top of. In this very first fight, Vegeta refers to himself as the strongest in the universe, which, whether he's correct or not, reflects
not.
a belief
He's
that
literally not.
He knows he's not.
It's BS that he would call himself that. You could say that he's arrogant, but he's just lying. I don't know if it's Toriyama lying. I don't know if it's him lying. I don't know if it's just his ego just trying to scare Goku. But it's not doing anything because he knows that that's completely and totally false.
to Vegeta, there isn't anything he can learn from anyone simply because he's already better than them by his own birthright. The difference between these two characters means that Goku is always eager to seek out training and tutelage from wise masters, while Vegeta isn't. The Kaioken.
Pause. But why not?
Did he just use Team Force?
Yes, he did. Doesn't matter. Why isn't he looking to get stronger? Because he knows that Zarbon and Dodoria are out there. He knows Frieza's out there. Kui is out there. Why isn't he struggling to get stronger or better or whatever? His plan seemingly was just get the Dragon Ball and then just become immortal. But what does that mean? Oh, it just means that your head can be cut off and your head is just surviving. You don't think about that stuff.
Also, the tips I mentioned at start of the video were that drawing I made and posted Discord about how to make successful videos.
Oh, shut up. Shut up. Banned.
Did we miss it?
No, I saw that.
Oh, I missed it. I'm
No,
sorry.
I banned him. I didn't ban him. It was a good drawing.
OMG TFS soy face.
It's definitely Wojak. I know that reference.
Hey, please clap.
Developed and taught to him by King Kai, this technique proved to be what kept Goku in the fight initially. Magnifying the damage he could deal along with an explosion of speed, this move too came packed with a massive amount of recoil on his body when he pushed himself too far using it. So much so that by the time the first significant section of the fight had concluded, a simple tap on the back from Yajirobe was enough to leave him screaming. The quote, power management side of this fight against Vegeta is worth contrasting with the most recent big clash of...
How did that not tear his armor?
What did that do? It just pushed him. That's why I'm just like, the beams don't make sense because the Kamehameha engulfs Cell and tears him apart. Vegeta was inside that blast and he just was getting carried away. Is it a concussive blast or is it a destructive like laser?
Versus Goku. In that fight, Goku had spent years mastering control over his body and...
Hey, isn't this the same thing with the hierarchy and the way it's positioned?
Sure.
And, oh, okay.
Key. And
How did he get out of that? He rolled over.
Yeah, he just rolled out of it.
He drifted lazily to the left.
was able to let loose immense power without even breaking so much as a sweat. I mean, at the very end of the fight, he still had that unreal flurry
That
of attack.
engulfed him. It didn't push him back. What is the Kamehameha just does whatever it's supposed to
Whatever
do.
the story needs it to do in the moment.
The Kamehameha destroyed Ox King's house, but when Goku did it against the car, it just sort of dented it. Didn't go through it. It just doesn't make sense.
to unfold on Piccolo. And him being worn down was a direct result of the damage Piccolo had been dealing to him. But here, with Vegeta, he is having to go nuclear and burn through his energy reserve at a rapid rate to even compete. It goes a long way to show just how dire things truly are. The beam struggle Goku engaged in was a wonderful culmination of all of these traits I'm talking about, leveraging his own tenacity while combining the techniques passed down to him by Roshi and King Kai, respectively.
Hey, here's a beam that I can do, and I can get 4 times as strong just by yelling it and unlocking something in my body, ... or whatever. So I'm going to do this, even though it's going to hurt me. Or otherwise, the planet is destroyed. I either hurt myself a little bit and then get healed by eating a bean, or the planet is destroyed. So, I guess the planet is destroyed because I don't want an owie. There was no other option here.
Why didn't he cut the sensu bean into thirds?
Because here you go, Krillin.
No, he had to cut it in half because they didn't have enough.
Here you go, Krillin.
Krillin and Gohan got one.
Yeah, I know. Here you go. I don't need this. I'm super strong. I have this technique that's going to hurt my body, and I don't need this to heal my body. Here you go.
A short-term win for tremendous long-term loss in order to put Vegeta in his place momentarily.
It's not tremendous long-term loss. Because once he's in a hospital, he eats a bean and gets even better. And the beans are so innocuous that it's just like, does he have a surplus? Are they being planted right now? Are they about to be harvested? Can they just go get some more right now? We don't know. So whenever he just rocks up with the bean is ready and he's healed.
I remember Vegeta couldn't get any stronger after the second time he got out of the spirit realm of time. He didn't get any stronger because his methods were outdated. Then why did he get stronger post Boo?
I don't think that he didn't get stronger. I think he just didn't get much stronger. Because he was already the pinnacle of what he could, which was Super Vegeta. Because he was fighting Cell Juniors.
Neo Arcadia says, it was the emotional loss of his friends dying due iconic.
Still
A place-
iconic.
where Vegeta was forced to reconsider his worldview, and he didn't like that. The Ozaru. The Ozaru in this context is the thematic opposite to Goku.
This is the second time we've had thematic opposite.
Do you think that's too much, or?
It's only happened twice, but it's weird.
Goku's Kaioken in many respects. Not something passed down to him or taught, not something which came with its own risk versus reward metric to consider, but a simple times 10 multiplier to his own already immense power. Many of you might point out that this isn't exactly a new technique to the series, and it's obvious why anyone would think that. I mean, it's been used a number of times across the story from the very first arc all the way to the middle of this one with Gohan. However, the important distinction here is that unlike every other time in the series, Vegeta is in full control. He's not a wild beast cutting loose on a random area. He's very clearly capable of much more specific movements, defensive maneuvers, and even speech.
Pause.
Unlike Goku...
But you said this was thematic opposite of the Goku thing, but they said that most Saiyans can't do this, so you have to work for it. So Vegeta earned this ability to be in control. So it's not necessarily the thematic opposite, because he's taken what he has and he learned, and he trained, and he was gained this ability.
Or, shut up. What does thematic opposite mean? How can I consume the analysis without the definition?
I wish Goku confronted his friends about lying to him about killing his grandpa. I think it's just water under the bridge at this point, because I don't think
he probably understands.
Yeah, I don't think Goku has ever been like upset at somebody for lying to him. So I think it just is what it is at this point.
Techniques, there's virtually no downside to this move from Vegeta. Well, apart from the jab to his own pride for needing to resort to such a measure in the first place.
And that it took a substantial amount of his energy away to create the ball to transform, which is literally what he said. It's going to drain a ton of my energy for this, but it's worth it.
Against someone as lowly as Kakarot.
But also he becomes a bigger target. He was able to blast his eye because of this. If he would blasted his other eye, he would have just been down 2 eyes because it's big target.
All of that said, this technique released by Vegeta, while it wasn't his intention, unconsciously this might have been one of the most significant blows to Goku's emotional state I've seen, and certainly for me the single most tragic and sad instance.
This is the first time he got to see an Orozaru, and he with his grandpa dying, and
It was a
Did he-
single line. It was a single
Nami the
line in
goat
the
says,
manga.
Did launch ever exist over? Was it a fever dream?
She was at the end of the Boo Saga, so yeah, she's a trucker.
and I think she was at one point in Dragon Ball, but I don't know if this was filler
Dutch
where
says.
she's in the bar,
And they did nothing with it.
and they did nothing.
Yeah, they
with
did
it.
absolutely nothing.
But it was a line in the manga. But was it during this, or was it during the Raditz thing, where it's just like you turned into a monkey? And was Raditz the
The
one
Almighty
that
Jew
brought up the
Hansen
monkey?
says,
And he was like, "I need
"What
to
did I miss?
apologize
Should I
to my
stop
grandma."
coming
No, this
here?
was right here and now.
Okay. Yes, please stop coming here. Stop coming to these.
It would have been good.
Devino Gugwa says, how is a casual slap sending Goku into tremendous pain, but when he gets punched and kicked by Vegeta, he's fine?
He got better. Shut up. The sun healed him. Disprove me. It would have been good if we saw a filler, like when he died, of just him going up to King Yama and just going, "Hey, is my grandpa, is he around or something?" And him just being, "No, he reincarnated," and him going to King Kai and searching for him and finding him, and him being a little martial artist and him smiling, just going, "I'm good with this," and just moving on. That'd have been something.
Yeah.
Just to continue the Grandpa
Or how about
Gohan thing,
nothing?
because it just sort of ended.
How about nothing?
I understand nothing, but how about something?
Or we can do nothing.
In all of the manga, a moment that drags our minds back to the very first arc of Dragon Ball. There's a rather large chunk of Goku's life we aren't privy to. The story itself starts off with Goku already 11 years of age, living alone in a small house in the mountains, praying to the 4-star ball he sees as his grandfather. It's his only family. And at the end of the first arc, we as an audience discover the truth when Goku begins talking about the moon and what his grandpa used to tell him about it. We put 2 and 2 together then, and he transforms. But the dramatic irony of
Yes, he transforms. We realize that it was him who killed his grandpa. It's not brought up until this moment. He's just going, "I have to apologize to my grandfather in the other world," and that's it.
Yeah.
It's done nothing with when it's such a big revelation moment for not only us but Goku as well. I don't think that it should be praised for setting something up, paying it off, and doing nothing with it. Where the payoff is simply, "Oh dang, that was me."
I recognize.
all of this has been that through all the damage he's caused,
I'm just so
it's all
tired of
been
stupid shit.
unconscious. A terrible truth that has been hidden from Goku for the longest time, and we're reminded of this at the very beginning of this arc too, when Roshi asked if Gohan has ever acted strangely around a full moon following the discovery of his tail. And so now, as Vegeta transforms before him, it triggers a very early memory.
Don't just
of
say
Goku's.
thematic opposite.
One that took place long before the beginning of this story. A moment in time where his grandpa would tell him about monsters that would come out at night. Goku's first words upon seeing this fully transformed state.
Pause.
I've heard.
How did
Dutch says, we should have seen Goku think about in the hospital.
that would have been good. It would have been good for some kind of retrospective. But did Grandpa Gohan cut off his tail
Sure.
and it grew back?
Yeah. Or maybe he didn't know about the tail being the reason that he could transform.
So how did? Oh, he must have just rampaged into the daytime and then transferred. Okay, I can see that.
Herd of apes like you killed my grandpa. This one move from Vegeta produces one of the most negative mindsets I've seen Goku work through. One that causes him to live.
Well, he didn't work through it. He recognized when I gotta apologize to my granddad, and he went on with the fight. It's not like it stopped him. It's not like it froze him or anything. It's not like he had some crisis at any point in the story about it.
Not like he got stronger because it's just like, oh, you killed my grandpa, I'm gonna kill you.
Literally say that he can't defeat this monster, that he can't save the earth, and one that leads him to somewhat accept his fate when he says that he'll apologize to his grandpa when he gets to heaven. It's a truly horrific place Goku
You're attributing too much to that line of Goku knows he's about to die and he will just apologize to his granddad when he gets there. Goku's just saying, when I get to heaven, I will apologize to my grandfather. I think you're reading too much into that line with that one.
who finds himself psychologically, but he has one last ace up his sleeve to try. And in order to make space to attempt it, once again, Goku leverages a technique he learned from another dear friend.
He didn't learn that. He stole it.
Nami the goat says. Mark is gassing this simple moment.
Truly.
Yeah.
The Genki Dama. The
No, it's the Genki Dama.
Genki Dama is the most symbolic technique presented in this arc.
Isn't it? What else? What's the other outside of this? What's the most
This
symbolic
biggest waste
technique?
for Goku has a character.
Wouldn't the symbolic technique be the Kamehameha?
No.
Or I guess the getting everybody, spirit from everybody, whereas Vegeta's is only blah 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 internal, nobody else.
Go back up to what that said. There it is. So Grandpa Gohan survived one monkey night and then died the next monkey night. Yeah, he probably... I could see him being asleep and then just getting mushed. I don't think... Or maybe he tried to stop Goku from going into a town or something. We don't know.
We don't know.
I would
Because we're
like
not
to
privy
know.
to that information.
You'd think that would have been a filler or a side story, but that would have shown something for Grandpa Gohan. But whatever, it's fine.
One that's intrinsically tied to the messaging and themes contained therein.
Don't
If there
pause.
was ever
It's
a
fine.
combination of techniques and circumstances that I would grant Toriyama a 10 out of 10 for when it comes to execution and
Mark
storytelling.
Munt says. Symbolic would be Goku beating Vegeta with a power pole, the tool that Gohan gave to Goku.
No.
It would be his design of the Kaioken, the Genki Dama, and the Ozaru all mixed together. Follow
Solar Flare is the most stolen move in all of Dragon Ball. Absolutely not. Kamehameha. 100% Kamehameha is the most stolen move.
It might be.
What?
But I think everybody that does the Kamehameha has done the solar flare, but Boo hasn't. And Boo did the Kamehameha, so it might be.
The most stolen technique.
But it's just a beam.
their bodies being brutalized and ravaged by the effects of the Kaioken, Vegeta and Goku are forced to take vastly different approaches that reflect their respective ideologies. In other words, because Goku used the Kaioken, Vegeta needed to use the Ozaru, and Goku
No, he didn't need to if he would have read the situation better.
then therefore needed to use the Genki Dama. Two techniques that when used in conjunction with one another create some of the most tense and exciting sequences I've ever read in a manga.
I don't think
Vegeta's-
that it's tense and exciting because we don't know what this technique is. It's just one that
I'm
he
just so tired
can
of this stupid
do
shit.
and is strong. So it's not, oh, I hope he can do this thing and
When is he
do
gonna break
what?
out the Genki Dama, or what's this new technique? What's it do? Blah,
Oh,
blah,
he's
blah.
doing the Genki Dama. Can this beat Vegeta? We don't know.
Ozaru grants him enormous power, speed, and perfect control of his faculties. Whereas Goku's Genki Dama, while thankfully light on the effort he needs to expel from his body to utilize it, forces Goku into the most compromising position possible. One where he has his guard completely down, and one which forces him to take his attention away from the literal giant monster in the arena before him. It's an extraordinary and exciting sequence of believable cause and effect in what is quite literally the darkest encounter Goku has ever faced. And when he rolled his last dice, and it came up Snake Eyes, his legs are crushed. He admits defeat, and after firing the last remaining bit of energy he has right into Vegeta's eye, there and then resigns himself to death. I've never seen Goku like
I'm just
this.
so tired of this stupid
Mouth
shit.
blast into his
Goku
other eye.
is never alone. The Earth versus Vegeta. No. This section. Oh my god, this section. Okay, woo, okay. When Dragon Ball is
Never forget that Mark is a hype beast.
Yeah,
Never forget.
fun.
at its best, I don't think there are very many manga that can compete. At least when it comes to combat. It's next level. The storytelling, the emotion, the tension, the swerves, the drama. Oh my god, the drama!
This guy is a nostalgia monster because things have surpassed this. I'm sorry. Like, we can't just be holding on to this.
He's saying like, oh, the drama. Like other fights don't have drama. Just saying that the drama exists within this fight doesn't mean anything.
Conclusion to this arc is utterly spectacular, and not only could I not think of a single thing I would change, whenever
I changed Solar Flare into Destructo Disc.
Dutch says, I can count so many manga with better fights.
Banned. Gone.
I
Forever.
change getting a good sense of what the spirit bomb is before it happened, because once Vegeta hops over it, it's just like, oh, bounce it back, Gohan, because your energy is good, and because of that you can bounce it back and it's fine. It's like, oh, can it? Is this about good energy or what?
If we had heard what the spirit bomb was in Dragon Ball or something, just like there's this legendary technique where it draws from the energy of nature itself.
It's okay to be confused.
Always I need a woman to love me like Mark loves Dragon Ball Z.
Impossible.
Thank you for the super chat, Nami the GOAT.
But also, if we had seen it do something other than exactly the same thing that this Kamehameha did, where it just pushes him up and it hurts him.
Mm-hmm.
What did it do that the Kamehameha didn't do?
This is so sad. I'm so glad I stopped watching Dragon Ball because Mark stands as a dark reminder that I'm glad I opened my horizons.
And this muff is doing all of Dragon Ball. He put out the Frieza and he's got 2 more arcs.
So here's the thing about the Spirit Bomb. What did it do? Because it didn't defeat Vegeta. It didn't stop Vegeta.
It just kind of hurt him.
It just kind of hurt him.
And then he came back and did his big Ra.
And it was thanks to Yajirobe, if nothing else.
Yajirobe and Gohan turned into a monkey.
I'm always taken aback by how dumbfoundingly well executed and exciting it always is. The Genki Dama was what Goku believed was his last resort, but in actuality, there was always one other ace hiding up his sleeve, his allies and his loved ones. A number of times throughout this arc, it subtly brought up how much Goku's allies, friends, family, and even enemies value him. From Roshi's passing comment about how everyone worked together to gather the Dragon Balls when they discovered it was he who had passed, to Piccolo's kind words about him on his...
Would they have not done that for Yamcha? Would TM be like, no, I'm busy?
Dutch says, the spirit bomb only worked on Boo when they said it could not.
But it did, though. Because Boo had better regeneration, so he has to do it. And it did work because of all the universe. Shut up.
His deathbed. There's something about Goku, who he is naturally, that attracts people to him. People who can help, who want to help. And those that will lay down their lives to protect him because...
They didn't lay down their life to protect Goku?
It was to protect the Earth. It was to stop the monsters
That's
from
not what happened there in that moment in time, sir.
Would you try to save Yamcha, DA?
You know.
No.
Did you see Launch? No. Figment of your imagination.
They know he can and has done the very same for them. When Vegeta releases the fake moon into the sky, Krillin and Gohan notice as they near Kame House. But it isn't Krillin who turns back first. It's Gohan. The youngest and by far the most terrified and unsuited to this environment, was the first person to choose to come back to help at the first
Of
sign
2!
It's his father.
Of irregularity. There's something to that that's just so damn powerful to me. And when they land to find Yajirobe, Krillin's strategy seems like a terrific one. With Gohan, once again, despite being the most non-confrontational naturally, he's the one that's tasked with getting the attention of Vegeta, and he succeeds. Oh my god, okay, I cannot begin to describe to you how 10-year-old Mark might have felt while watching this for the first time, because Vegeta felt like a monster to me, the likes of which I had never seen before. Goku was down for the count indefinitely. Gohan has a spark of greatness, but he's still no match for the Saiyan Prince. And Krillin is much the same. And at this point in my read-through, I genuinely took a step back to take stock of just how dark this entire arc has been. Dragon Ball up until now had certainly its own fair share of darker moments here and there, but even taking that into account, this
Devin
arc is
Ogugwa
on
says, nostalgic mark.
Never forget.
another level entirely. Goku dies in the first few chapters in one of the most graphic ways the series has seen. Gohan is kidnapped.
I don't care about dark.
Yeah.
I care if the story is doing good things. It could be the most lighthearted thing in the world. Could not give less of a...
Yamcha is killed brutally. The same goes for
he's just blown
Chaozu,
up.
and the means with which Tenshinhan leaves this realm is one of the most awe-inspiring, but at the same
Neo
time
Arcadia says, Mark truly has gone further beyond iconic.
tragically sad and pathetic send-offs.
He did a blast and then he just fell over.
Bleh.
Kills his own partner and accidentally reveals to Goku the tragic fate of his grandpa and the role he played in it, and following that, Goku resigns himself to death. This arc is just one horrific event after the next, and as Gohan and Krillin are staring down the barrel of certain doom, Toriyama reminds us that we are still reading Dragon Ball. I cannot express how perfect of a moment this is.
Bro, we did not know what Dragon Ball was. Again, you are attributing future knowledge to past events.
Ooh, this is a bad frame for old
Leo Lester
Vegeta.
says, Yamcha is a bunkin only good for a game of ball, and it's the second most boring ball game. Fuck Yamcha, but I still love you, Wolf Fist.
Wolfang Fist is hype.
Meme
honestly,
Spice says, so Gohan and Krillin saw the ball and that is why they came back. If so, why did Gohan not turn into a monkey
he didn't
bear?
have his tail. It grew
Why
out
did he get his tail?
randomly.
Shut up. Hey, his tail is back. Why? Shut up.
Why did it never come back after that? Who could tell you?
Yeah.
I'm honestly so glad I never ended up like this after watching Dragon Ball as a kid. I still like the series, but some of the fans need to break free from its grip on them.
Definitely.
DA stocks are down.
For what?
What is he talking about?
Dutch
Japanese
says,
viewers watching it for
We
the
need
first
more
time.
Alpha
Sure.
Yamcha.
No.
Wolf Yamcha.
And what could quite possibly be the single best swerve in the entire series. Everything, and I mean everything, works so well here. Yajirobe is shown to be training along with everyone else early in the arc.
Don't do this. He was in the right place at the right time.
He even gets his own small speaking roles. He's shown to be part of the battlefield where Goku and Vegeta move to eventually,
top.
and he's never seen by Vegeta, thus giving credence to the notion that Vegeta wouldn't expect him to come. And
Hey, no. He didn't see Krillin either. He read his energy when he fired a blast.
I don't know if he read his energy or he heard it.
I'm taking it as a reading.
I'm gonna take it as he heard it.
he didn't. Watching him frantically scurry away, frightened immediately after the slice, is nothing short of hysterical. Leave it to Akira
Toriyama to do something so lighthearted in a dark moment.
Toriyama to undercut one of the darkest and most intense moments from this series with one of the best, most perfectly timed and placed.
Bro, you have read One Piece at this point. You can't be clapping for this anymore. Point blank, period. I don't know if he's read Death Note, but it undercut a lot of stuff with this comedy.
He has read Death Note.
I don't know what you're clapping for at this point.
This is a thing that a lot of things do.
It's a thing that the Marvel movies are being lambasted for. The Marvel comedy of undercutting serious moments with comedy. One Piece's ass? Everybody has their own opinion.
Jokes.
I'd like you
Adrian
to
Lesko
explain why
says,
you think so.
Wouldn't the King Piccolo saga be as dark or darker than this one, or any of the following ones? What makes something dark is not what happened, it's how it happens.
Shut up. It happened.
Mark says that this is the darkest, so it is.
Leave it to Toriyama to invent dark moments, having funny moment.
I've ever seen committed to paper.
What?
To Akira Toriyama to undercut one of the darkest and most intense moments from this series with one of the best, most perfectly timed and placed jokes I've ever seen committed to paper. And it
The joke of him running away goofily.
Yeah. And
doesn't
hiding.
ruin the tension. It doesn't ruin the drama. Because it's still not enough. Say what you want about other arcs that came
But
before.
what if it was enough? Would it have ruined it then?
I was just joking. I actually think One Piece is pretty good. I'm just on and off with the series. Oh, like I said, we truly don't care if people dislike One Piece. As long as you're explaining why. I don't care if you dislike any series I like or love. Just if you're willing to explain why you think that way.
This one, but Vegeta is a different breed of foe. The amount of times he dusts himself off and keeps trudging forward would put Michael Myers to shame. Nothing seems to...
But I thought that was the thing for the humans, that they
Oh,
just
yeah,
wouldn't
the
give up.
tenacity.
But Vegeta, he's not weaker than these people. So why would he give up at this point? Oh no, I'm smaller, so I'm just gonna lay down and die.
Sam, Josh, I do have a lisp and I do have a speech impediment, but we do purposely censor ourselves because this kid over here does not like cursing.
Yeah.
So it's something we did as a kid that has just permeated our adult life as well. So
Neil
you'll hear us
Arcadia
go,
says,
or
I get he's being hyperbolic for the sake of the video and viewer retention, but God, he comes off like someone who's only read Dragon Ball and doesn't read anything else.
Definitely.
I don't even think it was meant to be comedic. It's just him running away. There's nothing presented as comedic about him running away.
Yeah. I don't know if he's presenting this review as Mark only having read Dragon Ball or Mark in the current aspect, but it does seem like he's just like, oh, in Dragon Ball, this is one of the best. Didn't he say that the car was one of the best comedic moments?
He also said that while One Piece only had him chuckling,
Buster says,
Devil,
I won the jackpot.
good for you. It's too late. That Chainsaw Man had him guffawing. So there have been moments in manga where he's been guffawing about things.
I need to watch, or at least skim his One Piece review to see if he laughed at anything.
Dutch
He might have
says,
been lying.
Dragon Ball fans are Zack Snyder fanboys of anime.
That's an apt description. I'm convinced Mark doesn't read other series. He never had this energy for Naruto, Bleach, or any other. No, he just loves this series
so
like no other.
He's gonna bring it out more. He's gonna be more grandiose in his speech and his descriptions and stuff like that.
With us, we are like equally passionate about things we dislike and like. You're gonna hear us yell the same way. You're gonna hear us emote the same way. Blah 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 blah. We're not gonna. You're not gonna get a 10 when we're talking about Naruto, and then a 4 when we're talking about My Hero.
First of, Yahirobe was supposed to be fighting the space monkeys. Second, what's the comedy, the 6th or 5th strongest hitting a known weakness. And finally, you've seen other works, this is fine, Mark.
It's just fine. No, he heard the Destructo Disc. Okay, I honestly thought he read the energy, because earlier on in the fight, he does read that Goku has his blast is stronger. So I thought it was a...
I knew it. I knew he heard
Monkey
it.
mentality.
Perfect for Dragon Ball.
Stop this guy. Like a murderous, short, and bigoted Terminator, despite reverting to his original size, finds himself still to be the most superior on the battlefield. A circumstance that, while dire, still leaves Goku with more options than he otherwise had originally at his disposal. Gohan needs to step up to the plate one more time. And when he does, possibly my favorite part of this entire fight in terms of...
Wait!
Why did that not hit Goku? Is what you're about to say? Is that what you're about to...
And when he does, possibly my favorite part of this...
Yeah, no, hold on. Oops.
entire...
That's the wrong one. Oh, it looks like it curves upwards at the last second.
Yeah, like he got that control. Goku is dust. That man is goo. Come on.
entire fight, in terms of psychology and strategy, comes into play.
Here's a blast. Throw the blast.
And that's another thing. He goes, the spirit bomb is so brilliant and stuff. It goes, oh, I'm gonna. I still had it, because it didn't dissipate. So I'm gonna transfer it to you. So you just go, okay. So it didn't dissipate. So I guess it just doesn't dissipate or
Adrian
whatever.
Roscoe says,
If it doesn't dissipate,
Fine.
It's fine.
if it doesn't dissipate, why didn't he do it pre-battle? Or why
didn't
wasn't he like flying towards the battlefield and just put his hands out?
While he had Nimbus under him and he just doing this. Here's the thing. Here's a question. If someone builds the spirit bomb, can someone else throw it?
That's what happened with here?
No. I mean the big ball in the sky spirit bomb.
Could somebody else take over it and...
Could Sail take it now and throw it? Anybody that knows the spirit bomb technique.
I don't know what the control of the spirit bomb is. I don't know if you're putting your energy into it and like yo-yoing it and tethering it and doing that, or if it's just, if you're like moving it with your energy. I don't know what it is. But it's never this again. It's never this little ball again.
And why would the spirit bomb dictate the heart of the person?
How can a blast tell that you're a good person? What does it mean to be a good person?
Carlo Alemo says, and Hai did an entire thing for the animation.
If you kill somebody and repent, are you a good person or a bad person?
Could Vegeta now do a spirit bomb? Would a spirit bomb affect Vegeta at this point?
There's a lot to say about this moment being Goku's or Krillin's or even Gohan's, but in reality...
Oh, now it's a ball.
I think it's a perfect combined effort of all three. Goku, the man who traveled to hell and back to get the knowledge, the ability to...
And still just has it in his possession after getting his legs crushed.
Why didn't he do that instead of blasting Vegeta's eye?
Why didn't he blast Vegeta's eye and then go, here's the spirit bomb too, rah?
defeat Vegeta only to fail, now has to channel the technique he was taught and pass it to the person he trusts more than...
He's here. It's not about trust. It's not like if Yamcha and Tien and Krillin were there, he'd be like, Krillin, come over here. He'd be like, whoever, come here and get this.
Thank you, Silver Heart Soul, for the super chat. I'm out, guys. Went out, had some rum, and, rum with your mom. I've never been big into rum. It's fine. It's a little too spicy for me. And I'm not here. Have fun. One more thing. Win Lily. Good luck, y'all. Sometime this month we'll hit Lily. Mm-hmm. Don't know specifically when, but sometime.
But we will.
I believe it stated at one point, I don't remember where, that Goku couldn't use the Spirit Bomb as a Super Saiyan because he's not a good person as a Super Saiyan.
Yeah, I remember something like that.
I thought that was the Nimbus he couldn't use.
No, I think it was the Spirit Bomb. I think it was something like his Wild Heart.
But didn't he push more energy into the Spirit Bomb for Boo?
But that's the thing. What did he do there? Did he just push his energy into it, or did he... Was he still controlling it? Could he not, or could he simply not gather the energy as a spirit, a Super Saiyan? But once he's a Super Saiyan, once it's thrown, he can do whatever. Can he bring it? Can he pull it back, or is it just a forward motion?
I believe it's just a forward motion. Most blasts can't just be brought back. Yamcha was a special attack that could be controlled, but I don't think that, for example, Goku's ball Kamehameha is that he controlled and threw his freezer from underwater. He could just be like Ra and then bring that back to him.
No, it's in Android 13.
This is like the only time about being pure of heart is needed to use the Spirit Bomb. Cell later states he knows how to use the Spirit Bomb.
Yeah, it looks like it was just an Android 13 movie thing where Krillin says that Goku cannot gather energy while in the Super Saiyan state. This is because Super Saiyan transformation is inherently malicious and taints the heart and soul.
Based on what?
Shut up.
Especially since you need to be a good... I guess with the SLs, gathering them in times of... No, it's times of peace. It's not even times of you being a good person. Because Vegeta was not a good person when he transformed.
And then once he becomes, maybe that's what it is. Maybe once he became the Super Saiyan Grade 4, where they mastered Super Saiyan and their heart was calm and stuff, maybe that's when he was able to use the Spirit Bomb as Super Saiyan. Or maybe that's just movie BS and maybe it just never was a thing.
Anyone else on this planet. Krillin, a character that once epitomized the definition of underhanded jealousy in the series, has grown to become one that recognizes his own faults and shortcomings faster than anyone else. And perhaps to a fault. Of all the Earthlings, Krillin is the only one that remains that can make any meaningful difference, and being one of the only two that Goku can pass this responsibility off to, Krillin is his first choice. And in
No, Krillin was there!
Gohan is over there attacking Vegeta! This is...
Who else is Yajirobe?
There's no other option. It's not about trust. It's not about all the hard work or any sort of thematic thing. It is, you are here. Throw it.
This would be different if there were 5 people there and he went, Krillin, I trust you with this. Or just say it, Krillin, of all the people there. If there were even people closer to Goku and he went, Krillin. There is literally no one else there. Dutch, thank you for re-upping and being a bum. I'm just going to start saying re-bums. Re-bums.
At the end, he was the perfect choice. His own self-doubt gave him room to delay the throw long enough to listen to King Kai's advice. And if not for Yajirobe, Krillin would have been the hero of Earth there and then. But I'm so glad he wasn't, because what happens afterwards is...
So did he hear that or did he read the energy? Because he totally recognizes that thing is coming.
He heard it. It's fine. It's got a big sound. Disprove it.
I guess I can't.
No, you can't then.
Even better. Now, alerted to the danger, Vegeta easily dodges the sphere, seeking his evil key.
My nuts.
Now, hurtling towards Goku.
What?
What did he say?
Seeking his evil key?
I'm sorry, what?
And he wasn't, because what happens afterwards is even better. Now, alerted to the danger, Vegeta easily dodges the sphere, seeking his evil key.
Is that what the Spirit Bomb does?
I don't know if it
Because
in
otherwise, why wouldn't it boomerang back once Vegeta jumped over it?
Yeah, it just went right to Gohan. And he had to ricochet it.
Now,
Yeah, I don't think...
hurtling towards Gohan, he has to act fast. The child that was less than a year ago too shy and scared to introduce himself without encouragement now stands in opposition
streets
to the most
acclaim
terrifying
God of
man
the
Krillin
hood.
and Goku has ever encountered. One that not only threatens their lives, but wishes to torture them all. And what's more, he now stands down the single most powerful attack, his own father's most powerful attack, with the instruction of reflecting it back to that monster Vegeta. This entire sequence tells its own incredibly rich story that enraptured me from start to finish. An arc, a story, a fight, all about how relying on others is a sign of weakness, now proves to be the most decisive blow leveled against the most terrifying entity the Earth has ever been threatened.
It wasn't a decisive blow. Because he stood back up.
If he keeps moving like that, I won't be able to hit him.
Leo Luster says, I can disprove it. Why didn't the other spirit bombs make more noise when they are bigger? But Boo and Frieza didn't notice.
I can address that in a second, as I think about a reason. The Genki Dama isn't something that you aim with your eyes. You must sense out the evil presence before you launch it. Whatever. What was Jiren? No, because Jiren.
That has nothing to do with the sphere. It has to do with the person seeking the dark key of a person or something.
The entire fight hinges on your one shot. Know that the hopes of the entire planet are stored within the Genki Dama. Fill out the evil presence and launch it. Boom, 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 boom. Hurry.
Oh, Eric, no.
Throw it, and then he threw it. Yeah, I don't think that it's a homing thing. No. It doesn't make any sense that it's just like sense out the evil presence. You can't just throw it. Why not? Shut up.
Yeah, you would just throw it, and then it would just seek out the evil presence.
And again, Jiren. Yeah, he just says, what are you doing, idiot? Hurry up and finish him off. And then Vegeta turns around and looks. So maybe it was Yajirobe. And then Krillin says, that idiot. So Yajirobe alerted him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And
so it was his ears again.
Had 3 or 4 brave allies not rallied themselves to defeat a great Waka Waka.
What's the problem?
Team 4-star was a thing once.
You should be able to repel it as long as you don't have evil key.
You should be able to. They
What
ain't even
does
know.
that
What is
mean?
evil key?
What is evil key?
Oh my god, this is the best arc ever! Just when you think this fight is over, when you think there couldn't possibly be more, Akira Toriyama says, hold my heat tab, and brings out more remarkable swerves and revelations like Gohan's tail having regenerated, like...
Why? Are we just ignoring the
Are we
Are we
logic of
just
this?
clapping about this?
Evil.
Evil. What is evil chocolate? Hey.
I can tell you about dark
says,
medical ninjutsu.
All these Dragon Ball YouTubers can do is over-exaggerate and lie about the story.
It's craziness.
Goku's used to back in the day. Granted, this is a little or very convenient given the
Okay, we're addressing it at least.
circumstances, but after what we've just seen, to me, this is just having fun and...
No, yeah,
No, it's not having fun. You said this was the darkest arc.
He legitimately just said, turn your brain off. He legitimately just said, ignore any logic here for the moment. We're all having such a good time being enraptured with the story right now. Who cares that this bush just came out of nowhere to resolve the fight?
Neo Arcadia says, all I hear is the nerd emoji talking at me.
The fight could have been ended, but he chose not to in order to do some contrived BS.
He has to understand that this is terrible analysis right now. He has to understand.
Because we don't have a reason why the tail grows
Nightfall
back,
says,
even back in Dragon
Please clap,
Ball.
consume and get excited for next scene. I don't need logic, I need big punch, totally not Mark Classic.
Big punch time. But yeah, he just goes, yeah, it just is. No, you don't just go, it just is. Because the moment that you deride another show for doing something that's stupid, you can just go, it just is. It's a little contrived, but it's fun. That's the problem with ignoring big issues like this and just doing that. Because once you complain about something and somebody goes, it's just fun, what's your argument?
All Vegeta had to say was the tail grows back when the body believes it's going to die. But he should have added to that where before you reach a certain age, maturity, before your body goes through Saiyan puberty, whatever that may entail.
Because Vegeta was going to die against Frieza.
Yes. Your body, your tail comes out to protect you. Because then that could have even informed what happens in GT. Because Goku turns back into a child and then his tail starts to grow back again.
tail having regenerated like Goku's used to back in the day. Granted, this is a little or very convenient given the circumstances, but after what we've just seen, to me, this is just having fun and the icing on what is slowly becoming one of the most delicious cakes I've ever eaten. Okay, that analogy got a little away from
This
me.
is it's a bull thing that allows good things to happen.
Yes.
Do you think that that's a good thing?
Do you think that's praiseworthy?
the end. But what I'm saying is, this story is great. Sure, it takes some liberties to make this happen, but it makes up
No,
for it.
it takes naught but liberties to make this happen.
There's no some liberties here.
Tails grow back. Yes, that is established. Why here? Why now? It just does.
When was that established?
Goku.
Oh yeah, Goku did it once. And he
But-
had to have it removed
Adrian
with
Rusko
surgery.
says, but, you guys, Mark is not like other shonen fans. He likes the Germa 66 dinner scene, not just the big bombastic fights.
He likes to think that he's above all of this when he's just
He is
firmly planted within
into
it. It's way too convenient. Nightfall, because like I forget who said it. It might have been Leo. I don't know. I don't want to call out somebody who said it. But as they were, I might meme whatever. Doesn't matter. As they were flying up, he could have just seen that ball and monkeyed out then and there. But no, it had to be at this moment. Why? Yeah, because it just is.
Yeah, being bathed in the rays of
Dutch
it.
says,
Anything.
I love the ending of No Way Home, but how they got there is dumb as fuck.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I said that Rokudo, that last arc, is probably not even probably, my favorite final arc. But there's things within it where I'm just like,
how we
this is
got
some bush, but it facilitates great stuff. Tell me. They'll read the last arc of. You need to read all of Broken
Of
Down.
course.
But this is better.
Story is great. Sure, it takes some liberties to make this happen, but it makes up for it because
Why did he slice his armor when his head was right there?
You should have gone for the head.
Yajirobe again! Yajirobe lands the attack. Toriyama used the regenerated tail of Gohan to create space for another incredibly funny Yajirobe swerve.
How is that funny? He did a slash and fell on his fat back.
That's fine.
I cannot describe to you the joy this story makes me feel. Yajirobe is a king, an unsung MVP of this story. And fittingly, what deals the finishing blow to Vegeta isn't a punch, a kick, a sword, or even an energy blast, but instead the very transformation the Saiyans have used to conquer so many other worlds. A transformation that crippled Goku and one that took his grandpa away from him. And in the heat of that savage form, amidst all of the chaos and destruction, the reason of Son Gohan, the innate humanity he represents, was enough to allow him the clarity to target Vegeta specifically. And target him, he most certainly...
No, his dad said, yeah, that's the bad guy over there. Go over there.
And then he went, my humanity.
It wasn't no innate humanity.
Yeah,
it was
that's
his
did you
father
hear him yell,
reprimanding him.
my humanity? He did.
did. It's a thrilling turn of events as the last gasp of Earth's forces resulted in a roar the likes of which Vegeta narrowly escapes. And that's when it happens. He retreats. But this retreat and apparent victory is cut short by a curious request of Goku's. For no other reason beyond his own admitted selfish desires, he asks Krillin to spare his life so that he may one day fight him again. And in the end, the ultimate win for Earth, the prevailing of humanity, was capped off with a very Saiyan
Oh no,
request.
people are getting mad.
Aspect of him that will be explored even further in the next arc, as this colorful cast of characters we've all grown so familiar with leave the comfortable confines of their homes to venture forth into the dark, starry sky above in search for an answer to this question they've all collectively had. Can they bring their fallen friends back from beyond? Can they reach planet Namek to secure?
Why did they keep the bodies there?
Because you need the bodies. Oh, the bodies are in the other.
In fact, when Piccolo gets wished back, he goes, now wish me to Namek, and he's still on King Kai planet.
Wait, why did they keep the bodies? They gave the bodies and and Goku, his body disappeared and teleported to the other world.
Chris
Maybe
Schultz says, Toriyama forgot.
maybe they were souls until
No, you just stopped yourself.
because Kami was the one but Kami is alive in the other world. Mm-hmm. So maybe they had the bodies, and then Kami was just like, okay, wait, we can train, so bring them on over here. And then their bodies
Neo
just
Arcadia
disappeared.
says, it was foreshadowing.
Of what?
That's all I can say. That's
The Namekian
all.
Dragon Balls without succumbing to the dangers and terrors that lurk in deep space. Tune in next week to find out. But in conclusion, the difficulty in analyzing Dragon Ball Z like I have today comes from its abundance of characters that all independently deal with their own journeys.
That's every story, if it's any semblance of a story. There's a lot of people. Watch the Knives Out series of films. Every film deals with like 8 new people. England, watch the Hercule Poirot stuff. Well, watch the Murder on the Orient Express. Death of the Nile was terrible. The new one looks good though. A Haunting in Bolivia, I think it is. That looks good.
While their respective paths might intertwine in interesting and at times incredibly entertaining ways, these are still unique stories to each respective character that serve to not
That we don't explore.
What story is there to Tien following this? To a Chaozu, to a Yamcha? What is Krillin's story other than he's just here at Namek?
only create the cast we discussed today, but also serve to establish the infectious and engaging world of Dragon Ball we all wish we could be a part of. Structuring this video such that I gave enough time to explore the origins of what this arc and ultimately what Dragon Ball was trying to achieve is difficult and requires careful consideration.
No, it doesn't. It considers careful consideration if you're gonna read so much into it. If you're gonna give it
an arc with 3 different themes,
if you're gonna give it so much praise that you will ignore other things that do the exact same things of Dragon Ball just to lap this praise onto it.
And if you feel as though I've glanced over certain aspects like Goku's first interaction with his brother acting for many as the beginning of Goku's road to accepting his Saiyan ancestry, rest assured I haven't forgotten about that section and instead have saved that material for a section I hope to cover in the next video covering the Frieza arc and Goku's ascension to legend in the manga
that
industry.
Super Saiyan
But in short,
is going to
this
be
is a story
15-minute section
Of iconic.
of iconic.
Of influential.
You know it.
grew up with, and what this video represents is a view into my mind and how I perceive, understand, and see Dragon Ball Z. In other words, this is why this story has been the most influential in my life and why I am writing this series at all. We've defeated the Saiyans, everybody, but we are far from out of the woods yet. Next time, we travel to Planet Namek, and I can't wait for you all to join me on that mission too. But until then, I've been Mark Fitzpatrick. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Let's hit that transcript real quick.
Yes, sir.
Big numbers, no whammies.
9.
9. That's not too bad. Hour and a half. That's not too bad.
That's one every 10 minutes.
Sure.
He said iconic once every 10 minutes.
Sure. Check out theme. I'm sure that's about the same. Ooh.
Then again, maybe some people in the... Nope.
That's not even counted thematic.
Nope.
We got 4 for thematic.
Yep.
Hooray. We did it. We did it. It's salad time.
They really think
Yeah,
that
y'all
we're
thought.
out here doing anything with Salad Saiyan. That's the crazy part right there. Alright, whew. We didn't have any homework. We doing some questions or we getting the out?
We just get out.
We're getting the out, y'all.
They don't need it. We did a mark. That's all they ever wanted.
No, it's not. That's the problem. It's
Dutch
never
says-
enough.
You didn't forgot my homework, did you?
What
What
homework?
was the homework?
DA didn't link me any homework.
Yeah, I looked and I didn't. Ooh, the rumor thing.
Your
Yes.
homework.
I did forget.
Yes.
It was 2 weeks ago. I went through a very harrowing con experience, and I forgot.
Dutch says, top 10 list for Iruma.
Yeah, Demon Slayer month is over. Yes, I'm gonna do that next month, next week,
DBZ.
next year.
DBZ month is over.
Yeah, no, I know. I said that.
You said Demon
Dutch
Slayer
says-
month.
Oh, well,
You
Demon
bummed
Slayer's
me.
month is over as well.
No, it's not. Part 2 coming soon.
You don't know that. I will not allow it. Yes, I am a bum. I'm not gonna deny it. Now what?
Did you read my
you've
story?
lost your power.
Did you read my story yet?
Live the life of the cop.
I love One Piece.
I explained that I'm still very
Devin
busy.
Ogugwa says,
I have a
"I'm out,
lot
going back
to
to
still
school soon."
do.
Oh yeah, everybody's going back to school soon. You
yeah.
babies.
Children, infants. Yeah, I'm going to. It's just I'm in the tail end of doing the things that I need to do. And then my friend texted me, was just like, "Hey, can you help me out with my
Sakichiba
house?"
says,
And I'm like,
Did you forget my homework? What are your favorite devils from Black Clover?
Oh wow, yeah, no, that was homework too.
"What happened?" I'm gonna add it, I guess.
Oh, did you
No, I didn't. Whatever you were gonna say, no, I didn't, because I suck. Okay.
I was
Is
about
that
to
what
say,
wanted
did
hear?
you start reading Platinum End?
No, I didn't. I didn't have a chance to. My plan was on the way there to read stuff that I wanted to read, and the way back was to read the stuff that was recommended to me. And then the way back, that didn't work. So,
But did you get to read some stuff you wanted to?
not even really.
Yeah, no, you were trash then.
Yeah.
Yeah, shove off, wee woo, all that good stuff. This is my birthday month. That doesn't even make sense.
It makes sense for DSP.
Boy, avoid Platinum in Gear 5. Yeah, everybody's waiting for Gear 5. No, you can't have points.
Yeah, normal revisited's back on the list.
Yep. Oh yeah, out of Dragon
Says,
Ball.
BG and DA trying to skip their homework.
I forgot!
I was always good at my homework.
2 weeks ago, I was super busy doing a bunch of things that did not pay dividends.
Oh,
that I
boy.
wish I didn't do.
Really?
Not really.
I'm shocked you didn't enter some of your other videos into this guy.
Just one. That's the rule. Only one video.
That's goofy.
Yeah.
Dutch says, DP question because you forgot homework.
No. We did.
Do questions. I'm like, DP?
No.
What
We-
did you...
You have to
Buster
understand.
says,
This is a
Do
dictatorship.
you think Death Note would be better if it ended after L died?
No, because
No.
there's still things that needed to be wrapped up.
If-
I don't think it would have been satisfying. It was just like, and then Akira ruled the world for all of eternity. Light is too arrogant for that. He would have slipped up, and we need to see him slipping up.
I just wish it would have. The second half would have been better.
Get out of here. They're tricking us into questions.
You know what? That's fair. Shove off.
Shove off. Stop coming to these. Wee woo. Demon time. All those other stuffs.
All the single furries. What else we got? Bums.